Hey, True Believers England Teen here with Evil Black Cat.
What's up, people?
And of course, Twiddles. Twiddles the world Twiddles. How you doing? Yeah, that's what I thought. Just go to sleep. Be quiet. Okay. All right. And anyway, it's Monday. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I usually find a topic. This time around, I'm kind of going old school here, because the whole woke thing got brought up in this video, right? And I didn't even know who this guy was. Apparently, I watched one of his videos before, so now YouTube thinks I want to see all of them. And it was called, what was this? Let me find the title here, and I'll share it in just a moment. The Woke Mind Virus Explained the Superhero Diversity Problem. So I'm watching it, and we'll go over this in just a little bit. And at first I think, okay, this guy's not bad because, look, there's wokesters or SJWs on. Are you fucking kidding me? What? I'll bite your fucking head. Will you let go? Holy shit, you're literally biting me. That was actually biting me. I've got a show to do and you're actually biting me? What the heck? No. You don't sit there. You go fly around. Nope, go on away. No, go. Holy Toledo. He tried to take a chunk out of me.
It's like a walk into the circus here.
I know, right?
Animals shitting and biting people.
What, man? Holy Toledo! Yeah,
talking cat.
Hominus, I was treating him right, and then he just went freaking off. I mean,
yeah, he needs love like he needs a backhand out the window.
I wanted to bite him back. Are you kidding me? Ow! But he actually would have had no idea why I was doing that. Anywho, you know what? I'm explaining the video we're about to watch. This, like I said, this is kind of old school. We used to do this kind of thing back in the day, and yeah, I don't know if it's going well. Go on ahead. This is Monday, so we'll talk about whatever. But I really kind of wanted to go over this because this is one of those things. MARANYA. The Germans may be bombing Pearl Harbor tonight. Just saying.
I just gotta say, we need to protect Pearl Harbor more often.
We need to protect more.
Pearl Harbor has been abused.
Speaking of the Germans bombing Pearl Harbor and everything, I was playing Sniper Elite 5. What a great game those things are. I love those games.
Speaking of people being murdered, I was murdering people too.
Exactly, yes, just digitally. Also, I've been rearranging the room. I'm going to turn the desk so the green screen is full on, which means I had to take the books off a bookshelf to change it, to slide it down. But you know how it is. When you take graphic novels and stuff off bookshelves to move anywhere, you got to stop and read 6 or 8 of them. This could have been like an hour-and-a-half job. But I ended up taking more time just because, like, oh, wow, yeah, I forgot I even had some of these things. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the business at hand. Okie dokies, shared to the here we go. This is from some dude aptly named Pillar of Garbage. You'll see why in just a little bit. Look, I can't say that. He's got some good takes on some things.
Why do you hate us? This is a comic book channel.
Well, this is about superheroes.
This is indoctrination.
Okay, here we go.
If you've heard this one before, left-wing cultural values are being forced down our throats.
Okay, actually, yes, we have been hearing this, and it's actually been happening now for decades. However, it really started getting bad in 2000s when you would have things like in NBC having their entire lineup talk about climate change. So, yes, this kind of thing has been thrown down our throats a lot.
They're everywhere, and it isn't an accident. It's a strategy. All this modern progressivism, the subversion of traditional cultural values, is driven by a group of people with an agenda.
Actually, it's driven by people with a confessed agenda. This has actually been told many times. People have actually spoken out about this. Let me full screen this thing so we can see Gary's lovely face here. All right. You see well? Can you hear it?
I see a giant gnome in front of me.
Right. Okay. Me or Gary? All right. But can you hear the video as well?
I can hear it.
Okay, cool.
With Marxist-derived theories about institutional inequality, identity politics, and trying to make everything politically correct. All these new diverse movies and shows that...
Okay. I like the fact that he has pointed out that it's all these new diverse movies and shows. TV shows have been diverse for decades. Movies have been diverse for decades. Geek culture has been diverse for decades. It's only these new ones that need to be pointed out as woke or as, I guess, an SJW minded kind of thing. What were you about to say? Oh, hey, Nerdette, what's up? You want to jump on as the as a resident leftist or liberal?
I was just gonna say real quickly that there's politics on both sides going into most videos these days.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
So it's not just one-sided.
And the end game here is a play by leftist elites to weaken the fabric of Western civilization, make it easier to target straight white men by taking over key institutions, including the media and Hollywood. And this all...
It's been confessed, however, that they do want to burn down society. There is a bad word, a cuss word that has been created in the last, I would have to say, 5 years. And that word is traditional. Yeah. Every time you hear the words traditional, you hear it as it's almost a slur. It's something bad. It's something to be overcome.
A lot of virtue, yeah, a lot of virtue signaling, which really proves that this theory that there actually is agenda. But I think some people assume anything made is part of the agenda. Not everything is.
Not everything is, and once again, I guess you're going to be the
I'm the middle ground because I've seen the black pill sites, and I've also seen.
We are the middle. This whole channel's the middle ground. What are you talking about? When have I gone black pill on anything? Seriously,
you've never gone black pill, but you've gone far to the other right.
This whole channel is middle ground on this.
Geeky Puppet Show is middle ground.
But what I cannot stand on either side, and you know I've called it out when I see Gary and the Black Pills, still the best name for a 1950s revival cover band, by the way. But when I saw Gary and the Black Pills not tell the truth about something, I call it out. When I see them not tell the truth about something, I call it out. When shit is made up to make a point, I call it out. I just want a great story, great characters, bring back our comics and make another genre has a star, end of story, like Indie Comics does. However, Marvel and DC need to change their plan a lot. I think everybody could agree on the Marvel and DC thing there, K-Bong, excuse me. All right, let me get this going again.
Trickles down into superhero movies, the forefront of today's cinematic pop culture, where we can see the agenda most clearly. Welcome back to the Superhero Diversity Problem, the series where we're chipping away topic by topic at the flawed way people talk about and understand diversity, representation, agendas, messaging, and all that within and...
Okay, once right off the gate, you have to say this isn't how people are misrepresenting. This isn't how people are changing the agenda or are doing blah, blah, blah. This is opinion on that. And a lot of it comes from a false narrative. He starts, and you'll see in just a little bit, he starts at a flawed place. He starts at a place where he is defining what other people are saying instead of what other people are saying. And that's one of the big weaknesses here.
Beyond this little corner of pop culture. Now, that spiel just then, the one that opened the video, you probably thought I was talking about the woke agenda, right? That I was paraphrasing the general anti-woke grifters manifesto. Well, I wasn't. I was actually paraphrasing the central points of a conspiracy theory named cultural Marxism, a fringe far-right theory from the 90s. Specifically, the idea was...
I will point out now and forever that there is no such thing as a right-winger. There's only far right. There's far right extremism. It's never somebody who is conservative. They all say the same thing.
I would actually say there's right, then there's center, left, and then there's where the fuck they went.
Yeah, well, basically, the way I see it, it's not so much a line as it is a circle. And you have a lot of people at the bottom agreeing. You have a lot of people at the top agreeing.
I think the reason they call us a far right because they've gone so far left, we're so far away from them now.
Well, that actually that has swallowed a lot of classic liberals as well. The left has gone so far left, they see people like, say, Bill Maher, who's a classical liberal, as far right because he'll go.
He's no center because of them. How far left they've gone. Roseanne.
Yeah, he's not center. If this is center, he's over here. It's just that the woke, the SJW, is far beyond that.
But it makes it look like he's center though, because how far left they've gone. That
popularized.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get
by a bloke called Michael Minicino, a follower of Lyndon LaRouche, whose beliefs included, among other things, that the Queen wanted to start World War III. So, smart guys.
Okay, this is a fallacy in his argument, because this guy said this, everybody must be in that tank. They all must think the same thing. That's not true, of course. I like Ronald Reagan as a president. I like Donald Trump as a president. I don't agree with everything they damn well said. This is right away. It's a false narrative. It's a false argument.
Fun little aside, it's also clearly inspired by the literal Nazi propaganda term cultural Bolshevism. A phrase,
by the way, we're socialists,
is widely used by state-sponsored critics in 30s Germany to denounce secularist, modernist, and progressive cultural movements. Sound familiar?
No, because the people who are saying, how about instead of making a white character black, you focus on original black characters? Or in the newest case, Little Mermaid. Why not, if you want to tell or use a black actress, why not tell a black fable that has never seen the light of freaking day? And by doing that, idiots like this, of course, call us racist.
Wait, sorry. Did I say a fun little aside? I meant to say not fun. The thing is, though, I was talking about the woke agenda too, because, well, they're not exactly dissimilar. Indeed, if you look at some of the, quote, anti-woke pushback against minority-centric or merely minority-featuring media, particularly in so-called nerd culture, Star Wars, pop fantasy, and, yep, superhero movies, you'll see it often adopts a lot of those same positions outlined above.
That is a demonstration that the ideological conquest of Marvel is complete.
Okay. The problem here, once again, and he does not go into explanations, nor does he give examples. I'm going to warn you about this, is that people will say, okay, why is this character, why are you portraying this character? Why are you using a black actor? Why are you using this? And they think, okay, you don't like black people, which is furthest from the truth. The horrible and horrifying thing is that should you be a black person who says you should stay, you should make the white characters white, the black characters black, they will tell you that you are you have inner oppressiveness. Instead of actually thinking that you've come to any opinion by yourself, you have, and the worst part is inner whiteness is now a thing, and that your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings aren't true. That is some stupid shit that they make up.
Do not care about these characters. They care about their message.
The weird agenda they're pushing inside of these shows, TV shows, multiple companies, multiple studios.
Most of the people responsible for this type of discourse rarely get as specific as Minicino did back in the day.
Okay, I would challenge this. If this gets back to pillar of garbage, I challenge you to watch my videos and see how specific I get. Falcon shouldn't be Captain America. Now you would say, oh, he hates black people. Oh my God, you're such a racist. According to this video, that's what you would say. That's what I'm gathering. Obviously, I don't know his mind.
Well, when Anthony Mackie says stupid shit, they know that, oh, Captain America was aggressive.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know he would go that far. But my point being is that Falcon is the first African-American character from Marvel Comics. And his whole job, actually, in the beginning, he was the protector of Harlem. He has only gained respect in the eyes of Marvel, in the eyes of the MCU all of a sudden, now that he took his white partner's name.
Yeah.
And everybody can, and I've said this before, everybody considers it a promotion. Now, granted, Eric Breen did smartly point out that if you're going to take anybody's name and call it a promotion, it would be Captain America's. But Falcon shouldn't have that. For freaking hell, he didn't even get his own TV series before you changed his freaking identity and name to put him in a movie. He shared it with Falcon and Winter Soldier. And yes, for this point, I'm going to say it.
Where was Falcon in during the Avengers movies? Well, he was an animated character called the Falcon. He joined the Avengers Assemble. That's where So other than that, I don't think anybody really knew who he was. The people are watching the movies. They're just happy because I'm not gonna say all, but I'm sure there's a good percentage of them that are happy that a black guy took a white guy's role.
He should have had his own movie beforehand.
And I want to point out that's stupid and wrong thinking. You should never be happy that someone took another racist person's role because they're race. You should want this character to be like, you know what, I'm gonna, I'll honor Steve, but I won't call myself Captain America. I'll use the shield. Taking up a mantle of it's what I don't like is when a sidekick takes up the mantle of the hero they work for
instead of breaking out and becoming themselves. They're
Nightwing did?
Like Nightwing, yeah. Now making Ariel black, making the Falcon, or all of a sudden become Captain America. That is not representation. That's presentation. Representation would be the Falcon. Representation would be have this girl Halle Berry. Is it really so close to Halle Berry? I don't know. But anyway, having this young lady actually star in a black fable, an African fable, that would be representation. Just saying, well, we're going to take this white character and we're going to put it a black face over it. That's not representation. That's presentation.
It'd be really weird if someone took over if they had like a Captain Puerto Rico, and it's a white guy becomes Captain Puerto Rico.
Well, you could. A lot of Spanish people look Caucasian. I mean, look at Cameron Diaz, Jessica Alba.
It's just the point.
I'm pretty sure there's some guys in there too.
It's obviously when he took over. I forget who was writing it. Was it Nick Spencer writing it? Yeah. I think maybe, or whoever. But when they wrote the character Falcon taking over because Steve somehow lost his super soldier serum, was taken out of his body, started aging like he was 90, and was somehow still able to be look like Clint Eastwood in age 91 and still kick ass as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I said it was just dumb. I just understand you don't need to make Falcon into the new Captain America. Falcon, it was fine the way he was, and if you had a problem with the way he was, you're the racist.
I think they should have retired the shield. In all honesty,
but it makes sense.
It's a different movies are a different breed of cat.
Sure. And the comics are different. In the movies, I can understand why they chose to do it. When the actor walks away, and just like they're basically recycling characters. We saw this with Ant-Man 3. They took the villain from Ant-Man and turned it and used him to become, well, spoilers, he is MODOK.
Let me get this going here. We got 20 minutes in a video.
This idea of cultural Marxism is the template for this. The conviction that the relative increase in projects bearing in mind representation and inclusivity, or even projects which aren't overtly concerned with these things, but deign to feature non-white people, non-hetero people, or even trans people.
Okay. Did anybody ever say, I don't like Black Panther because it's got black people in it? And I'm talking about normal people. All right. I'm talking about normal comic book. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about geek culture. In geek culture, anybody, did you ever hear anyone, there's a lot of people here, have you ever heard anyone say, I don't like Black Panther because they cast all black people?
Just Zach. That's
right. But that's a joke.
And I know.
Or how about I don't like Kamala Khan because of her heritage? Nobody has ever said that. Because they're poorly written, because they're poorly lit, because they contradict themselves all throughout the movie, because for some reason they're saying that Black Panther was the first superhero movie. I've heard that one a lot. But has anybody ever said that Black Panther was bad because the entire cast was black, which is what this dumbass is talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like when people create a character, like because they create a black character, so they automatically have to put them into Harlem. Like that
Except
shit.
for Wakanda, yeah. Which, by the way, in the comic books, they do go to Harlem. This is when Storm and I forget who goes to Harlem, and she says something along the lines of "Enjoy it before the mayonnaise eaters get here." No. It's not racist at all. Okay, let's continue.
In any non-peripheral way is due to a concerted effort from a cabal of industry leftists for their own sinister ends. And the similarity isn't a coincidence. There is a direct causal link between the fringe conspiracy theory and the modern mainstream anti-SJW, anti-woke discourse, and shockingly, everyone's favorite lobster boy, Blob and Bleeberson, played a big role here. The disgraced ex-professor cited the rapid academic spread of cultural Marxism while protesting against the Canadian anti-discrimination bill, which shot him to online fame. This isn't to say that the online alt-right were clueless about this beforehand. Doubtless, a lot of these dopes had seen the idea themselves by this point, in whatever online space Jeterson did.
Really?
But in terms of your average Joe hearing about the leftist plot to infiltrate institutions and brainwash via media, we can thank Meat Sweats over here for a lot of that.
Okay.
So I want to point out, he lost my respect as soon as when he starts calling them dopes. Because you don't agree with them, you don't call them retards. You don't call them all that other crap.
Okay, so yeah, people like to go off on Jordan Peterson, and I absolutely tell you that once again, he's not saying why. Oh, Jordan Peterson, he is this and he's that, blah blah blah. Okay, why? Why do you think that? What was it? I could do this too. You know, I could do vagaries all freaking day long if you would like, but it changes nothing. It means nothing.
Can I ask?
Like, and that's what this guy's doing right here. Okay. Now you don't like the fact that Jordan Peterson says that compelled speech is against free speech. Compelled speech is not in any way, shape, or form free speech, which is actually what got him onto the stage. So you're not going to tell us why you believe that's bad. You're not even going to tell us why his 12 rules are bad. You're just going to say, oh, look, this guy who we've got this picture where maybe he's not feeling well, but he got caught on camera because he had a cold once. Now we're supposed to believe he's a fascist. He's a Nazi, which you have already compared to. That it's freaking ridiculous. You have literally said nothing.
By the by, it ought to go without.
Sorry.
I was just going to ask, what does Jordan Peterson have to do anything with superhero movies?
He doesn't, but what he's saying he did was helped point out that the culture is changing. Now, once again, this guy is a nut retard of the highest. Hey, don't
insult them just because you disagree.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. This guy is
don't play their game.
This guy's beyond retarded because this guy's lying. This guy's lying by omission. This guy's lying just flat out. He's flat out lying. Go on ahead, Black Cat.
For a guy with a channel name called Pile of Garbage.
I know, right? Pillar of garbage, but yeah.
Let's just go with Pile of Garbage.
Okay.
You know, if you identify as garbage and your channel name, that's inappropriate because
it's a pillar of garbage. In China, they had to shrink Finn to be not even noticeable. Oh, I absolutely.
The only thing I know from Jordan Peterson is the whole Red Skull incident. That was actually in a comic book. But as far as the MCU movies, though, I haven't seen him saying anything about the MCU movies. Then again, I do not watch Jordan Peterson. Not because I don't like him. I just don't care. I'd rather just read the books.
Some people think he's very dry, which and he's not exactly. He's not exactly a comedian when he's talking. So yeah, I get why some wouldn't. Let me get some comments here. I know I'm going through this. Is a 20-minute video, which going EFAP could really make this a 9-hour live stream. I'm trying to
super chat if you want this to end. Dear God,
super chats are obviously they're highlighting. We focus on them a bit more, but Let's see. I hate they frame Superman a legal immigrant. He was raised in America. Undead Quinn, absolutely. Look, I'm a big John Byrne fan. I like the I like the John Byrne origin, and that is he's actually his birthing matrix opens in America. He's an American. He was raised as American. He anytime I hear the lone Kryptonian, excuse me, it doesn't make sense because he was never alone.
Yeah.
He was raised by two loving parents in the middle of America. When a character is swapped, the replacement is immediately a gesture of patronization. Says Glinzer. Let's see. I'm blacker than Halberry, says Jay Lucian. Look, Caucasian, many Hispanics
you know
are
what's
white,
funny?
says Hominus.
Do you know what's really funny? Even the Red Sun Superman, who basically was raised as a communist, ends up becoming not a communist at the end.
Way far behind.
He starts realizing, seeing the cracks and what's going on, people, and the lies he's been exposed to. So even the communist Superman, at the end, I guarantee if they kept going, he wouldn't be a communist anymore.
Communism only works in the family.
Only works when you're blind to what's really going on.
Well, okay. Let's move on.
Without saying that the universities aren't being taken over by Marxist infiltrators, but it is probably worth making that point explicitly. As Matthew Sharp writes in an article for The Conversation, quantitative research bears out the idea that cultural Marxism is indeed a post-factual dog whistle and an intellectual.
Except you actually have live evidence damn near every day that it is. You actually see the socialists, you actually see the communists, you see the teachers focusing on that kind of thing, no matter the subject they're teaching. You get that so many times, and that's one reason why little Jimmy Janie goes into college normal and they come out blue-haired idiots.
I'm just saying, if we start sharing the wealth, it doesn't work. Because why? Because we all have agreed. That's why socialism will never work, because we'll always be someone who wants to have more than the other one because they're working more than the other one. That's why people who say they hate capitalism but enjoy the benefits.
To say that leftist dogma has not taken over colleges, you have to be incredibly obtuse. You have to just you had to have buried your head in the sand on the whole subject. All right, let's continue.
Intellectual confusion masquerading as higher insight. But back to the domain of the terminally online.
Okay, you are not about to show this version of the New Warriors and not talk about why people thought it was woke. The freaking creator flat out said it was.
This newly widespread awareness of cultural Marxism, combined with the remnants of the Gamergate movement, the ruins of Reddit edgelord atheist.
People who complain about the abundance of atheism on Reddit now know how atheists feel when dealing with Christianity in real life. No, you don't. No, you don't.
No.
You have no clue.
You've never been persecuted for not believing in God. Sorry.
Nope. You
oh my gosh.
Someone
approached my door and give me a pamphlet where Christians are being murdered in other countries.
Beyond Christmas being the biggest holiday, that doesn't happen. Okay, this isn't 1989. This isn't 1990. And by judging by this guy's voice, he has no clue what he's talking about as far as those ages.
Imagine that. And PTSD when Christmas comes around. Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. Tinsel.
Culture and that baseline annoyance at PC culture gone mad to form modern reactionary culture, which then.
Okay, I want to stop it here. Okay, just for this. Look, he's going to go off on Gary. He's going to go off on quartering and so forth and so on. Look, I do too. But he's about to lie. And I think if you're going after somebody, if you don't agree with them, speak truth. One of the things I have mentioned is that it's become so homogenized. Somebody asked me once, did you see the new review of movie? I said, well, I saw it the last time when it was a different movie. And I make fun of the fact that Disney is doomed. I said, is Disney doomed or die, or has it died today? Because as you look right here, they're very homogenized. Everything looks the same. Most of the opinions are the same. They use the same they use the same font. They use the same colorings. It's so uniform, not unified, but uniform. And I don't know. That's what to go after. Don't make shit up. There's stuff to actually go after.
Then metastasized in the post-Last Jedi culture war to become the alt-right pipeline we know today.
I'm sorry, the what right? Once again, there's no just right-wingers. It's always alt-right. It's always extreme right. Dumbass.
So,
the point you should...
So if they're alt-right, they're not really right at all. They're alternative, so they're not really right.
They're the alternative right. Wasn't that the Keck thing with the guy that the freaking Nazi guy? What was his name?
When they say the far right, they're the Nazis on that, but yet they attack the people who aren't far right though.
Oh no. Yeah, you got to prop up Antifa. They're gonna beat the shit out of you if you disagree with them. But
Antifa are just the anarchists, the useful idiots.
Somebody who says maybe actually write some characters with some humanity and some flaws. That guy's a fucking Nazi, but people who beat the shit out of you because you disagree with them.
Linzer, alt-left doesn't exist.
Online religious forums are often intruded by atheists. I've noticed that. My brother loves doing that. He'll go on to religious sites to debate them all the time. He actually said, how do you know God? He asked that of me one time. How do you know God is real? I have faith he is real. Nobody knows. It's the faith that's important. And yes, and here's the big problem. If Christians are supposed to question their faith because it renews it. And when you have somebody come on, you agree with them a little bit because there's a possibility, there's possibilities, but the faithful, no, they don't waver. You never feel like you have to explain your faith to somebody who jumps on one of these forums just going, well, what about blah, 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 blah. You don't believe it. I do. Simple as that. All righty. Wait, he is showing the nationalist socialist. Yes, Ahsoka. Neutral color schemes give me AIDS. The atheists are having to Christian bashers. It's become pretty weird. Sorry, but I am left-leaning centrist according to most political tests, and I hate these movies. All right, and they have compared the entire right.
What you take away from this potted history, though, is that the roots of the so-called anti-woke movement trace fairly directly.
Okay, so is it the anti-woke movement or is it the so-called anti-woke movement? I know that's a nit to pick, but I pay attention to language, pay attention to the way things are said, as well as what is how they're saying it, as well as what they're saying.
You said you've been tested. Well, sometimes those tests come back positive. You got to do 3 tests before you know if you have it or not.
Yeah, sometimes it might just be a little polyp.
Back to a fringe far-right conspiracy theory, itself playing on fascist propaganda, swapping out one evil, hated, civilization-weakening group for another. None of this is the...
Okay, you say swapping out evil, hating, civilization-changing group. There is literally a group of people out there saying they want to burn the whole thing down, and it's not on the right.
Say that nobody working on these projects is making creative choices influenced by their personal progressive beliefs, whether that be writing a story that very...
Well, this is absolutely false. We actually have on record the writers of She-Hulk. We have you showed the Mockingbird. She flat out made a comic book based on her political beliefs, going after people who didn't like her stuff before. You have somebody at Disney who said that she was glad that nobody stopped her in her obvious gay agenda.
Yeah, I want to point out something real quick. Yeah, I agree with you. Ethereal Drake is saying many anti-woke people are right-wing wokeists. That's the thing. There is virtue signaling on the right and the left. You're going to see it.
Yeah, we actually brought that up earlier, Ethereal. Yeah. These are people that claim to be on the left that are anti-woke, but I believe the vote for the very same people at the end of the day. Yeah.
consciously gives female characters agency, or pitching a Black Panther sequel that goes beyond who's gonna become the next cool bulletproof high-tech hero, and becomes a post-colonial piece about the way hegemonic dominance is upheld mentally, and how it forces other states to play their game on their...
I didn't get that Black Panther. Also, by the way, just to point out how Damassian you have become here, this was in the comics. Nobody had any doubt that Shuri was going to be Black Panther after Chadwick Boseman died, okay? Nobody was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're making Shuri Black Panther. No.
And a lot of people said the movie sucked because of the fact they just all they do is recast him.
They could have recast him, yes, of course, but they decided not to. They decided to bring in Shuri. It's in the comic books.
Yeah, the
Big
original...
Go ahead.
The actress herself said the original plan, even if he didn't die, it was gonna be she was gonna take on the suit and they were gonna do a brother-sister duo thing. Like
Which people know this.
Yeah, the sequel was supposed to be like the sibling dynamic thing, but then Chadwick died.
Now, the biggest complaint I heard was the changing of Namor, not Namor, Namor, because he's been around for 80 years. People wait a long time to see these characters come alive on the big screen. And when they do, and it's not the character, Namor would never have been seen with that funny, actually he has been seen with a couple of funny hats, but he was not Namor. He was Namor. That's it. Not the same character. It ended up being. Also, that movie sucked on more levels than just, oh my gosh, Shuri is Black Panther. Shuri wasn't Black Panther in that movie for long at all, really, guys. So anyway, what are we getting? Wakanda never got colonized. They were colonizers. That is true. Let's see. Read the short-lived BP where she was the... Yeah. Nobody was complaining about that. Writing, yes. Special effects, Marvel's getting a lot of crap about recently. But nobody was mad. I can't say nobody. Obviously, there was somebody out there that would have been mad about Shuri. But the main complaints, you got to listen out more. And nobody on this channel definitely complained about Miss Angela Bassett. She was freaking awesome.
Their terms, as well as simply militarily. Of course, on some level, creatives create in accordance with how they see the world, what future they'd like to see for it. But if this is an agenda, then everyone has an agenda. This video exists because of an agenda. The whiny comments below this video are an expression of their authors' agendas. Every act we take beyond basic self-preservation is due to our particular mindsets.
Okay, this is kind of nitpicky. He's saying, well, you're doing everything because you've got an agenda to live to your life, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada.
He said everyone's got an agenda, so this is an agenda right here.
Right, but we have literally heard from the creators of these things that their agenda is to alter the mindset and in some cases actually go after kids. Okay, I mean, they're saying it. Look at some interviews with the creators of She-Hulk. Look at the interviews with the creators of what's that black show that everybody's the cartoon Proud Family.
Yeah.
This is not something that, oh my gosh, no. Well, they had an idea and it just turns out this way.
Look at Vita. Look at Vita. We're gonna queer your comic books characters.
I've got on this channel. I have a quote. Vita Ayala said, "I will queer up wherever I can in the DC universe." Okay, what is no same people were mad about Shuri being Black Panther, said Ahsoka. Remember the press event? They said they wanted to queer. Yep, that was exactly what we're talking about. We have heard this multiple times that their agenda is to go after kids and do shit to make people mad. Look at Velma, says Ahsoka. Maranya says the only people who were mad about Shuri becoming Black Panther are the same people who see a female or a lead, or a female lead or a person or black person. True. I don't want to say POC. I hate that. POC is colored people. That's the way.
If a character's black, it's woke. If a character is a female lead, it's woke. They only watch a movie. They'll just say, "Oh, it's woke," and then they'll move on. Say they watched a movie. We've seen this before.
our ideas of what we should be doing and how we should do it. Maybe a piece of so-called woke media expresses a vision of the world, but if so, critiques of that piece do the same thing. It's bad because I think media should do this, not that.
It's bad because it doesn't follow the character. You are not paying attention to the people who are saying this.
I don't think
You
this guy.
really
Actually,
are. It's not. Go on ahead. And
I was
then
gonna say, I
I'll-
don't. This sounds like a guy who's never read a comic book,
It sounds like a guy who hasn't paid attention to the people.
or doesn't even
who's
watch the
critiquing.
movies. He probably doesn't even watch it. He just sees people do this. So
Maybe.
he wanted to make a reaction to it because he wanted the clicks. He wanted the views, even though he's gonna piss off a lot of people.
Well, I don't know, but it sounds like this is somebody who doesn't watch Gary's channel.
Yeah.
This is somebody who doesn't watch my channel.
Yeah,
Somebody
Gundam
who
is-
doesn't
Gundam-
watch Diversity in Comics.
Gundam's pretty much center. He's neutral, kind of like, you know.
This is someone who sees the titles, and he's making and he's making up shit as he goes along. Like I said, if you want to complain about Gary, if you want to complain about Jeremy at the Quartering, if you want to complain about Jeremy, it's Games and Geekers, right? Geeks and Gamers.
You know,
If you want to complain, there's legitimate complaints. Don't make shit up. Go on ahead.
I saw this guy reviewing this Pepsi Peeps, though, and man, Pepsi's gone woke, putting Peeps in their Pepsi.
I know, right? I was bored. Okay, so it's not entertainment anymore. It's pure propaganda from the left wing. Says cartoons and comics. Look at anything Hollywood products from the last 3 years. Everything became
There
woke.
we go. There goes. I want to highlight this real quick because this is exactly what's going on with a lot of the shit.
Okay.
To be fair, a lot of people do like this guy don't actually listen to opposing arguments. They'd rather talk you down and then they'll block you if you try to counter.
There you go. Alrighty, let's move on a little bit.
Sadly, that's not just the left; that's the right too.
Some
It's
people do.
Go ahead.
Because my vision of the world is different, and so on. Everything is contingent.
Okay, I remember what I was going to say. I want you to find the person, and I will stand there right. I'll do a video like this. If you can find anyone, Diversity in Comics, Gary at Nerderotic, if you could find, what's his name, Ruckus T. Ryan or something like that. There's baby guy, any of the black pills. Find one of them that said they didn't like this because it doesn't follow my worldview. And I mean that even, I mean that flat out, like
they never said
to be those words.
Yeah.
That has to be the tone and the meaning of their video. Find me Games and Geekers or the Quartering. Find me something who literally has that tone without an actual explanation. So if you have a video and it feels to you like they're saying you're not following my word or my world, but they are giving you an actual explanation as to why they don't like something, that doesn't count. Yeah. All right.
Cartoon Comics, Cocaine Bear was awesome. Sadly, Rob didn't like it.
Dalton didn't either. He wants to talk about, so I'm gonna go see it Wednesday.
The woke discourse, particularly in ideas like the woke mind virus, posits something beyond this.
I've never
beyond
heard the
the
woke
world
mind
full of
virus before.
individuals talking about and creating the things they want to. The central myth here, the load-bearing idea, is that they aren't making these choices, aren't writing these stories, aren't casting these actors for legitimate reasons because they want to, because that particular choice was the best one they could make. It's because there's a plot. There's some level of coordination going on behind the scenes, and whenever you see a person of color on screen, they're not there organically. They've been forced in. I think we'll see.
Okay, now let's go for this. Once again, this is something that has legitimately been said out loud. And you see it every time it's advertised. And we're going to make this movie and we're going to cast a black actor. We're going to make him gay in the movie. We're going to rewrite him as gay in the comics. They're doing this. It's not a natural thing. It's not what is it? Organic, as you said.
I would just say go watch the first CW shows, the superhero shows, or just when CW came around, and just watch how they started silently just shoehorning gays in there. Now, I have a problem if there's a gay character in there, but their whole should be, "Hi, I'm Alex. I'm gay."
And that's the way it's brought. I know we make fun of how many times she references it. Anytime you get an advertisement from her, the first press release is, we want this to be for the modern audience. That's usually what it always says. Hold on, let me finish. And then you get not a story idea, not a plot summary, nothing else other than, and we thought to represent, we will make this character not what he or she is. It's pandering. It's not organic. Now, here, you want to know what's organic? Venkman brought up Smallville. Pete Ross. Look at the freaking comics. Pete Ross does not have that year-long tan that Pete Ross had in Smallville. Nobody cared. Nobody freaking cared. Yeah. Lana Lang was an Asian. Nobody cared, especially me. Kristen Kurlik is hot. Nobody gave a, but it was done naturally. Just do it. Don't make these when they make these fanfare freaking announcements, they're not doing it organically, kids.
The only thing I hated the most on Smallville is the fact that him and Lex growing up together, being friends.
I didn't mind that. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, that's the golden age.
And then you had the shippers.
That was kind of sad. The golden age origin had them friends before they became enemies.
I like post-crisis, John.
I know you do. Drink, everybody. Maranya says, sorry, certain channels put things under electron microscope to find an atom of SJW and blow it up.
So Arrow started off with their first gay character was William. And guess what? He never go around saying he was gay. He didn't advertise he was even gay. And we barely even knew he was gay. It was when we started seeing the Flash.
Mr. Terrific?
Mr. Terrific. Well, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When he was a character that actually CW did, right?
He's right. Mr. Terrific was the first one, and they did actually swap him to be gay in that one.
Yeah.
Swap
but
on
who
TV.
cares?
He's always been black.
No, to be gay.
Oh, to be gay. Oh.
But nobody cared. They did it naturally.
The only time we cared is when you made Felicity more important than actual
Black Canary.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Save this idea of forced diversity specifically for a future episode, but the phrase itself is telling here. The opposite of forced diversity would, of course, be unforced, natural homogeneity. That points us in an intro.
Okay, dumbass. This is the you can either eat steak or oatmeal fallacy. I just made that up. I don't know if there's a name for it. I'm sure Dalton's out there going with a real name. But here's the thing. If you don't like oatmeal, the only other choice for you isn't steak. If you don't like steak, the only other choice out there is oatmeal. He's saying that, oh, well, you don't like forced diversity. Well, the complete opposite of that, which obviously is what you want, is this. No, we just don't care. Get this. I'm sorry. Dude, we don't care. Let me repeat that. We don't care. If you made a Black Goliath movie, we would go see a Black Goliath movie. If you made, oh goodness, what's his name? All of a sudden it's out of my head. If you made Power Man, I'm trying to think of Blue Marvel or what.
Well, they had Black Lightning, and Black Lightning, I had no problem with that, actually.
Not at all. Nobody cares. We literally don't. Make an original freaking character. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You want to do Mr. Miracle? Yes, we're going to say, can you at least put Scott Free in as a cameo if you're going to do a Shiloh Norman movie? But if you did a Mr. Miracle movie, so long as it wasn't written as shitty as that last series, we don't freaking care. Just make it an original character.
When you have to bring a character like onto the stream or the show, like a legacy character, and say the character previous before him, the hero, was and just tear him down to build up this new character.
Yeah,
that's whether it's a girl or a guy, I don't care. It's like, really?
I don't like when they do it in the comics either. Okay, let's move on.
Interesting direction. I think one major part of what's happening here is similar to what we discussed last time, with the CCA's impact on normalizing the Hays Code type waspy conservatism within comic book culture, that viewers are mistaking how it used to be, the level of diversity in the films they remember.
Was he a Republican? Was Wortham a Republican? Was let's see, was the House of Un-American Activities run by the Republicans? Because I remember wasn't Bobby Kennedy on that? I'm just gonna go out there. I'm not. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this one.
But watching back in the day when they were younger with a natural state of affairs, and that the increase they've noticed in the past few years isn't just the latest development in an ever-changing culture, but is instead a deviation from some pre-lapsarian past before the wokes got their hands on Hollywood.
Okay, first of all, when the wokes got their hand on Hollywood, probably, I guess, what, 2013? There is a time between what you're stating was late 50s
right
until
after
now.
Right after the first Avengers movie came out.
Yeah. They got that. That's when this woke shit really started hitting geek culture.
To me,
and you're acting. This guy's acting like it was then and now. I mean, and that kind of fits, because if you ever listen to an SJW talk about, say, like Black history, you have 1855, and you have now. Nothing happened in between.
You could even say that it started earlier, that when they decided to just have Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
Oh my gosh. Yes. By the way, Samuel L. Jackson was off of the Ultimates, not the Avengers.
So when they try to say it's 616, why is it Ultimate Nick Fury in there?
This is obviously nonsense. Even if we're thinking just about MCU discourse, the way Phase 1 and 2 are held up and idealized as non-woke, the reason we only saw white guys headlining the action for so long wasn't because that was some right or normal proportion, it was because of Marvel senior and noted ghoul person Ike Perlmutter's conviction that viewers didn't and couldn't care about female characters or people of color. It's nonsense, but it's an attractive type of.
How is it an attractive type of nonsense? You want to tell us? You want to give us an example? Seriously. The MCU is real, and this one is, whom is this from? Clownfish? Okay.
Clownfish TV.
I've seen a couple of
Flash,
those. I like their.
Mac.
I'm a Disney guy. I've seen some Clownfish Disney stuff. Occasionally their other stuff comes on.
Yeah, he threw Trump in there for some reason. I don't know why.
But once again, I want to know why you think it's attractive. You're not giving examples. I mean, you're passing by some stuff, but we have no idea what they're actually saying. Now, I think the MCU, I think that's full of shit. I think it's a great line if you're trying to sell videos. It really is. MCU, we know it is, but it's fucking garbage, Gary. Okay? Look, if you're listening in, it's garbage for this reason only. Well, maybe for others. Nobody gives a shit. Okay, first of all, we want a She-Hulk movie. We want an Invisible Woman. We want Storm. Put freaking Storm in a movie.
Get more Black Widow
in here. Get all the freaking female superheroes in here, and let's make a fucking movie. It's not the fact that there's female Avengers. It's not the fact that there's female characters, which is all you're pointing out when you say MCU. That's what people read. That's what people say. Now, granted, I know in your video you go further, but MCU, awesome sales point. It is a tagline made by the gods and delivered to you on tablets like the 10 Commandments. But if all we care about is the fact that these are not well-written women in the movies. Nobody cares. MCU makes people think all you do not like. The only thing you don't like about this shit is the fact that they're female.
Exactly. That's exactly when I come across to without context. Anybody reads this, the MCU, you sound like a sexist, like you hate women being in any type of role.
the thing is the videos go and they're like they give examples and they give real reasons.
Well, sure,
but that's what you see, and that's why
Lindsay, I can understand they don't want females being masculine. They don't want them looking like they're
not. But once again, that isn't MCU. That's the writing. MCU is just, hey, the MCU is now female. Fuck females.
I like Edge of Tomorrow.
That's what MCU is.
So the people who don't want a female to be in the leader or something, I wonder if these people also hated the show called Chuck.
Really? I've never.
Because remember Chuck was he was basically Zachary Levi. He was the nerd, but he was protected by Yvonne Straczynski. She was the badass. She's the did all the fighting. She's the dominant one. He was kind of like the damsel in distress. I don't know. It's like I said, it's just the fact that they use that term all the time. It's like, are they in a hive mind? Is it, or are they using it because they know that the people who watch Gary stuff will watch theirs? If I put MCU in my title.
Yeah, and look, like I said, it's a great freaking tagline. It really is. But MCU, when you see it, it only conveys that you do not like female superheroes, which I know is bullshit. You do. You just want them written.
He doesn't. Well, no, Austin. He's like me. He doesn't care for you say MCU because it doesn't. It makes it sound like you're bigots without even. Most people will probably won't even click on it because of that because that title. So
yeah, I can see people are turning on me now, right here. So yeah, because oh my gosh, I want to get. Look, I'm not going to fucking sit here and not say something is wrong when it's wrong.
Like it's just
now, hold on. Let me talk right here, okay. So everybody that did not get the fucking point, the MCU, just seeing the MCU without watching the video says nothing more than I don't like female heroes. You watch the video, you get the whole story. But that right there, great tagline. But it does convey the sexism that everybody accuses them of. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it all the time. It's an overused term. It doesn't convey what you think it does.
Instead of saying MCU, just say what Glinzer said. And what he just said up there about most family. We don't want females to be masculines,
but let me ask you this. Let me ask all of you MCU lovers that are getting mad at me because I'm saying, and this does happen.
It's the tag we don't like.
It's a cult of personality. If you go after somebody who's bigger than you, their fans are going to come after you. Just wait. I like Gary. I do. I like Gary as a person. I like Gary's content. That being said, this was a bad idea. All right. So let's get going here. I want the She-Hulk cheesecake from the early 2000s. Not that nobody wants Velma cartoon.
You know what I want from anything is what's her name? I think it's Emma Roberts. Not Emma Roberts. What's the one that was Edge of Tomorrow? That character, how she helped out Tom Cruise. She was a perfect character of being a strong female character that wasn't like I guess you call it a Mary Sue.
Emily Blunt.
Blunt. Sorry, thank you.
I want to know if you do not want any female starring movies. I want to know this, okay? Because you guys are saying no, but the video says. That's basically your message here. The presence of a strong female lead, says MARANYA, is not woke. That is true. The presence of a strong ethnic lead is not woke. That is true. Black pills claim that these presents are equal woke automatically. That seems to be the way it is. They are written from a third wave feminist point of view that hates men. A lot of times, yes. But once again, MCU, if they made an actual MCU and they wrote it well, nobody would give a fuck. We would actually be cheering it on. They'd be like, all right, yeah, they got.
There'd be people saying, there's always gonna be people like they're gonna say, "Where's the men?"
We got a movie that stars Wonder Woman, Zatanna, Power Girl. Yes, I know that's not MCU; it's DC. I just decided to go the other way.
20 years ago, 15 years ago, people wouldn't give a shit when they did that. But now, because you put any group of females together, they think it's going to be woke. Because they've been conditioned that way.
Ash is responding to Maranya. Correct. Terminator, aliens, not woke. Exactly. Blade, not woke. MCU, woke. And once again, you guys are talking about the message behind the title. I'm just talking about that title.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying. It's a
great friggin' tag, man.
It's a double-edged title, you know.
Yeah. The way most people frame MCU, though, is that if there is a strong female lead, it is automatically woke.
It's like people saying, "I like ass." Well, what do you like ass? Oh, All-Star Squadron. You know,
led by Liberty Bell. Actually, she had been leader a couple of times. Sure, okay, fine. I mean, granted, I would prefer Hawkman and Green Lantern, but there you go. Alrighty, let's continue here. All right.
Nonsense, particularly for young white guys insecure about their place in the world. And
alrighty, kids. Didn't take long for him to get racist, is it? Nowadays, it is okay to be racist against white guys. Notice he didn't say guys. He didn't say men. He didn't say people. He said white guys. It's not okay to use white as a racial slur. It's just not. Also, this guy is so freaking racist in that he assumes that there are no black people who don't like woke.
That's true. I mean, he's using he could just say young guys, but he's only showing a picture of a white guy. People still think that they don't like that. You know,
that's what is.
What she should do is just show a picture of a group of men walking down the sidewalk.
It's something. And yeah, I like the guy who seems to be in deep thought right here is somebody who's bothered by the wokeness. It's only white people that can do this. Cartoons. I was watching compared the clothing of Black Widow from Iron Man 2 and the Avengers to the current female clothing. It's just like male clothing now. Well, she's still in the movie, wore her bodysuit, right? Or are you talking about in the comics? He assumes there's no white women that don't like woke. Apparently so. He's not only just leaving off anybody who is not white, he's leaving off anybody who's not male. We've got the lovely Maranya in the chat here, who definitely doesn't like this. We got Ahsoka, which I don't remember if you mentioned if you're white or not. I do know that we have black and we have Hispanic and we have Asian in our chat as well, who do not like the woke, but yet, particularly for young white guys. Now he says particular, so particularly that includes a small minority of people, but mostly it's the white guys.
I wonder if this guy's going to use. I wonder if he's going to start using Latinx in this video or not.
I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know if this guy's black or white or anything. I'm one of those weird people who, if I hear an English accent, I just automatically assume.
Asking what your definition of woke though is. Isn't that the crux of the matter? It says figure drawing.
One of the biggest problems, of course, is what is woke, what is SJW, and so forth and so on. Now my quick answer is the SJW is the person, woke is what they do. But if I were to try to define this, it would be somebody who only cares about the I don't know what I lost the word, excuse me.
Like race?
Yeah, the traits of there's a word for it that goes in front of traits, but I forgot that word. It's out of my head. But the traits like character traits thing, yeah, okay. Your sexuality, your race, things that you cannot control. This is all that matters in a person. Okay, and the woke seek to God dang it! Now I'm freaking drawing blanks on words now.
Biden?
No. It's something. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time remembering words at this point in time. Now that I've got to slow it down.
My point is this: that yes, there's a lot of woke stuff, but I feel like some people get so wrapped up in that they just become paranoid. Think everything's gonna be woke. So when something actually isn't woke, they just assume it is.
Well, what? Okay, so
my brother does this crap all the time. He refuses to see a movie. Oh, I heard so and so. Like, so you didn't see. You just listen to what somebody else said. Instead of watching for yourself. That's the shit that annoys me the most.
Okay, woke. Here it goes. Here it goes. Woke is the exploitation of character traits in a person. Yeah. That is what's going on. It's the exploitation of it. It is the understanding that the only important parts of a person are their race, are their gender, are their sexuality, if you want to separate the two, and how can that be manipulated to their agenda. Yes, I'm bringing up that word, agenda. And that happens all of the time. And a lot of it is the elevation of one over the other. It's very racist. It's very homophobic. It's very sexist, because what it ends up doing is putting everybody in a box. And if you do not act like what the woke think, what the SJWs think that you should do, or you should act because of this this character trait, whether it's homosexuality, whether it's being black, or being Latino, or being white even, then you are not that properly. There is something wrong in what you are experiencing, and this is, or what you are exhibiting, and this is the worst of it, is whiteness. Everything bad that is done now, if you do not agree, if you do not act as if, or as how the woke want you to, you are exhibiting whiteness. Think about that for a second. Think about how cruel you have to be to actually believe in the 1616 project, that nothing has changed for you. If you are a black person since 1616, now forget about the fact that, you know, we fought a civil war. Forget about the fact that you've got successful black people all over the world. According to the woke, you are a victim because of how you look. And the only way anything can change is if people, how I look, are treated the way black people were treated 100 years ago.
So we're going to end racism here by donating money to this channel right now. We're gonna...
1619. Thank you, Emerald. Like I said, I've been, as soon as there you go. Wasn't the term woke created by SJWs is something they were openly proud? Yes. I am Asian, black, and Caucasian, says Ahsoka. Okay. If someone cannot write a black character as being a villain because they fear that people will think that all black people are villains, as a result, that is an SJW woke. Woke is the exploitation of character trait. Aren't you explaining how politicians behave? Yeah. There's intrinsic characters. There's a word there that I swear to gosh, as soon as I started talking, it went on my head. In your opinion, what are some comics and or shows and or movies that are woke? Let's see, some woke comics.
I give you a perfect example right now. Go.
Well,
look at the Catwoman right now. How they pretty much
what makes Catwoman woke?
Well, they decided to tear down anything that Ram V did. You know, it was a common thing. The woman writer, Tini Howard, does this. She breaks down the character. She decides to have, you know, oh, Selena, I still have feelings for Bruce, but I'm gonna be fucking this other guy. Turn into a trash character, and basically shit on the character, because the character Selena is pretty much, well, I don't know what was her original nationality, because it feels like they don't know what it is, because I've heard people say, oh, she's not white, but they're whitewashing her now, or whatever. Anyway, so they're basically treating her like another horrible white person, and they threw her into jail. And now they replaced her with her ex lesbian lover is now the new Catwoman. Look at Jace Fox. Jace Fox, they want him to replace Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne's the evil, rich, white millionaire who wouldn't give his money to people.
Glenzer, the weird thing I find about LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, and Tiger, well, I don't know about Tiger Woods, but they will tell you that black people cannot make it in America. There are freaking billionaires that will literally say that all of your problems are well, not all, but are the fault of white people and what was done in the past. And the only way that you can succeed is if I as a YouTuber change? Because they don't say politicians. They don't say if we change the laws. They just they talk about the evils of white people. A woke comic book to me would be, well, I don't know if it's still there, but Robin with the Tim Drake. They change a character. Yeah. They changed a character to tell a story rather than just create a character to tell the story. Something along those lines always matter to me. There's no narrative reason for the Little Mermaid to be black. As a matter of fact, considering she lives very deep under the ocean, it would be more like translucent, I would think. But, you know, it just, but no, if it feels like it's pandering, I think that's an easier go. It is actually hard to define the terms, but you know it when you see it. Alrighty, let me.
And it's a sort of gateway nonsense too. It's the basic logical flaw that makes people susceptible to the further, more outlandish parts of the anti-woke doctrine. I'd imagine by this,
like what? How? Okay, are you about to give? Okay, hold on.
Point in the video, a lot of viewers who are on board the anti-woke train, or are at least sympathetic to critiques of wokeness, have already left comments complaining that I'm misrepresenting their movement. That when they're talking about wokeness, they mean something else. Like some people would say She-Hulk's woke because of the female focus and the like.
No, nobody's going to tell you a TV show about She-Hulk is woke because they focus on the female. I'm calling you out as a freaking liar. Oh my gosh, that whole Black Widow movie starred a freaking female. I can't believe it. She-Hulk was no. What they will say is the writers sucked and that they literally had an agenda that they said, hey, we have an agenda. They said they had an agenda. Good Lord in heaven. This can't be freaking real sometimes.
I guess, twerking post-credit scene that's simultaneously a 10-second long gag and the harbinger of Western civil.
It was bad. That, first of all, I didn't like the entire episode. Could we get a script that said that what's that singer's name? My God in heaven, they said her name like 9 times throughout the entire thing, and then you have She-Hulk at work. That if you listen to most of the problem with it, she was at work, not out at the bar or doing anything like that.
Do you know what the most boring thing was? Yeah, the fact she never fought anybody.
She really
it was because she was constantly just her bitching, complaining, working, and trying to be a lawyer instead of her actually doing what she actually did in the comic books and actually got in the fights.
Well, and Sensational She-Hulk, there were whole issues where she wouldn't fight, and I do remember. Remember the Dan Slott being that way.
This is the problem here, because. Are we going for Dan Slott or are we going for Sensational She-Hulk?
Yeah, 2 different things. Let's see what we have. If Stan Lee and Jack Kirby had failed, I guess they would have blamed the Germans, says Glinzer. Let's see. Eventually, everyone agrees 2 + 2 = 5. Hashtag read 1984, says Ash. Let's see. Megan the Stallion. Okay, thank you. I'm old. The humor was cringe. Nothing had stakes, and it had horrible pace. It really did had bad pacing. And I was one of those that would have rather have watched Wong and Madison do their thing than
the why. But now,
I would have watched. I'd rather watch that than She-Hulk.
Honestly,
LeBron is one of the most hated athletes in the whole history, even though he's not a bad guy. He is painted. He has a point about racism in this country. I haven't heard the racism, but I'll tell you what, I've seen it too many times. Actually, I have heard him state things Anyway, I've heard it too many times where they talk about how black people can't make it in America. Oceania is at war with East Asia. Oceania has always been at war with East Asia, says, okay. I can easily make a better She-Hulk series, says Maranya, from what was filmed by editing out the garbage that disrespect the characters. It would be 4 or 5 episodes tops. You know what I didn't like? And this is a very little nit to pick. You know the episode with Immortal Man? He dies, he comes back. Yeah. They're there because he died, therefore his marriage was annulled. But then you see him jump out a window, die, and he's revived 5 seconds later. That's not long enough. That's not long enough for any paperwork to go through. So it's if you're going to do that, then have the smarts to make it so he dies for a couple of days.
Civilization's downfall, but maybe they'd say Black Panther isn't. Some would say both are. Some would say neither, but that episode of Young Justice where Khalid becomes Dr. Fate is because it shoves his religion down your throat.
You should rely on God alone. I gave up magic when I converted to Islam.
Look, magic is a tool I'm using to do good. I mean, that's what our faith is all about.
Incidentally, you rarely hear that.
This is something I'm going to actually have to agree with him here because I've seen this. I've seen this kind of thing. Now, I don't know if that was a trigger for, and I hate them. I use that word now, but I don't know if that's a trigger for anybody. If anybody actually had that to say, I don't know. I'm just going off on what's said here. I can say that I have seen our side of this culture war do things like that. Batman isn't good because she said white privilege. It was a 1 second thing and then moved on. The movie had no impact on the movie whatsoever, yet that bothered some people so much that they couldn't do it. The same thing with the Punisher TV show. There were a couple lines in one episode and people just said the show sucked. It does happen on our side. Go on ahead, Venk.
I was just saying, I don't care to see any characters talking about Islam or Christianity stuff. You don't need it in the comic book. The whole point is we escape fantasy, you know, or skip the world going to fantasy. You don't want all that's the real world stuff. Just like we don't want to hear COVID when we're watching Resident Evil. You know, I think
adding in some sort of element of religion or things like that kind of give depth to the character so you can enjoy it more.
The bad thing is when Islam's been linked to jihad, you know, and all stuff, and just all that stuff as being religion of hate and persecution. I just don't think it's a smart move to do. It's a very sensitive topic.
Well, yeah, and the problem with that is that you never get criticism. Right away, right after 9/11, the news, your media talking heads that were on the left immediately came in as defense. Now, this is a religion where the extremists do, I'm going to say extremists because I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, throw gay people off the top of a building. And yet, right away, one of our comic book movies doesn't have the Bible being saved in an apocalyptic future. It has the Quran. A gay man says the writing is beautiful. The writing would have you thrown off a building, gay man. It's not beautiful. That's V for Vendetta, if anybody's wondering. So no, I am sorry. When you have that kind of stuff, it doesn't feel natural. If anybody else said, or if I'll tell you, if in that scene in V for Vendetta, they had all of the religious books, that would be something different.
So if you want to say Christianity is a very, it's a mean spirited, though, they're horrible people. You go to Crusades, right? Well, they fought against the people who were trying to kill them, the Islams, the Muslims, no, the faith. That was the Holy Crusade. Just study that, and you'll see, like I said, it's people refuse to look at history because one, I don't need to know it, or two, they're not allowed to look at it because it's been censored. Look at they're doing the James Bond now. They're taking I Am Flame books. They took them off the shelf, and they're now getting rid of all the offensive remarks to black people. They're leaving. The funny thing is they're leaving homosexual slurs in, everything else in there too, like the derogatory towards women.
But that's the whole censorship thing. That is a woke. That's a woke thing. Going after Gone with the Wind is woke. Not showing Song of the South is woke. It's censorship. It is not something that conservatives are usually into.
Lindsay, if a gay man entered a Muslim bakery, he wouldn't be leaving.
But the media would ignore it. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. The original Footloose, who was the villain, the Christian church, who went bonkers about rock and roll music because of a tragedy. The Vatican Library is supposed to have copies of all religious manuscripts of faith, says Maranya. If a gay man entered, Spanish Inquisition was a dark mark, but that's the history of all humanity.
You're also going to realize, just like in government, there's corrupt people that use come to power. There were the Vatican. Now, look at that. The whole
Cartoons and Comics is calling me out for my Punisher thing, so I'll give him respect here. No, the Punisher Netflix sucked because Frank became a little crying bitch instead of the calm military dude was was military who loves the Punisher. That's why I didn't watch season 2. Season
season
2 was freaking awesome, dude. But you know what? My time was better spent on season 1 than yours. That's the way I see
season
things.
1 for me. I tremendously enjoyed season 1. Season 2 dragged on with the villain.
I disagree. I disagree. But like I said, the way I've always seen disagreement when we don't like the same movie or we don't like the same comic or something, if I watched it and I liked it, my time was better spent than yours. If you didn't, and this vice versa. So, you know,
so to bring up people who are she's bullied by people of her own race because she's not pure, you know, she's mixed. Like that shit annoys me, you know. And of course, who get in trouble for that? Oh, it's not. There's no such thing as black and black crime or any of that stuff. It's always Ku Klux Klan.
Let's move on here.
About Daredevil, do you? Nobody seems to mean exactly the same thing, but maybe that's the key to understanding it. I couldn't have satisfied all these people here. I couldn't have given one definition of wokeness, of anti-wokeness, of the woke mind virus and approached that specifically, because these things don't have definitions. They don't mean anything. Not anymore.
Now, he's right to a certain extent here. Woke is very quickly in danger of becoming racist or Nazi, a word that doesn't mean much of anything if it's not clearly defined. Once again, I always thought like woke is what they do, SJW is what they are. Social justice warriors only pay attention to the characteristics, the skin color, the sexuality. If you separate the two, the gender, I do not, but I know there are people out there, you know, things like that. And wokeness is how they implement it. That's how I've always seen it. But I don't think that a lot of people have ever seen or ever really taken on that kind of definition to it. So how do you explain woke then? Woke, and once again, my opinion, you have to say that there's no clear definition of it. Unfortunately, I do agree with them on this one.
So as Craig Ferguson said, is it very cultural appropriation if you're getting offended on another person's different race for them?
That's funny. Another tactic used in 1984: destroy the meaning of words so your enemies can't point out your evil. That's why I think that it should be clearly defined. This is the weaponization of the SJW's bigotry. That is, in my opinion, what woke is.
I still have the correct version of Webster's Dictionary as the correct definition of seriously.
Or not concretely. Of course, all linguistic meaning is socially constructed, and all of it changes over time. The verb improve, for instance, originally meant specifically agricultural improvement, but nowadays, when someone calls for a franchise, a film, or anything else to be improved, they're not recommending the implementation of the most up-to-date tillage practices. That isn't what I mean here, though. While woke started out meaning something, that is, roughly the state of being aware of social and systemic injustices, the word's foray into the mainstream was quickly followed by an ironic appropriation of the term. First by those wanting to mock corporate attempts to cash in on the new wave of social awareness, then by those wanting to mock the people getting woke sincerely, and the idea that any of their critiques were valid.
Okay, so you're showing a picture of Antifa morons pulling down statues. How do you defend that? How do you say being against this is bad?
My question is, does anybody realize that we call it woke when we should be calling it progressive? Because that's basically what it is.
Same thing, yeah. Let's see. There's absolutely is a clear definition of woke. Woke equals debased. The original meaning he's talking about here was a lie. Woke instead came to mean the truth of the hypocrisy of these liars. Pulling down statues like ISIS smashing statues.
After a few years, this ironic usage...
That's funny.
...overtook any authentic usage, and then something funny happened. Following that whole online alt-right metastasis we discussed...
Alt-right, here we go.
...earlier, even that ironic usage phased out. People started using it euphemistically. When people use woke now, they're not talking about becoming...
How is Black Adam woke? Or is he representing that he wasn't woke? Because him being grayed out makes it seem as if they're calling him woke, and what's his name here can't.
So when people say it's woke, it's because they're making Black M the sympathetic hero, an anti-hero. That's my assumption.
DC did that 20 years ago.
I know.
Aware of injustices. No, the word has become palimpsestic. It is used to refer to a great many things, from stuff interpreted as preachy to media which platforms or even features minorities, to anything which deigns to critique any aspect of the neoliberal status quo, to any text short of outright conservative propaganda. And sometimes even that stuff's not safe.
Okay, I don't think Gina Carano, he shows Gina Carano over that. I don't know if he's controlling. It seems to me like he's got a few pictures that he's rolling through and he's not really paying attention to what's being shown yet.
Ash is saying making Hawkman black was woke. It didn't really change the character. He was still the same character. He wasn't going around and be like, yo, I gotta go to Harlem, or like no, or he wasn't acting like he's stereotypical black as they write him. He acted like Hawkman. Aggressive.
You know, that's actually a question. That's a debate I would like to have.
Yeah.
Because there have been decent race swaps in the past. Unfortunately, I think a lot of stuff now, it's just not the right time anymore, because we have seen race swaps done for the agenda, for the message, not for the narrative sake, not for the movie. So it does seem as if it comes off as woke, whether or not it works or not. I brought up Pete Ross. There are characters that had been changed in the past we didn't care about. Eartha Kitt was Catwoman. Nobody cares. A lot of people, myself included, enjoy it. I think that Michael Clark Duncan kicked ass as Kingpin.
Yep.
You know, but it was at a different time. What they did back in the day was they advertised Michael Clark Duncan's going to be the Kingpin. Look at him in that white suit, looking like the freaking Kingpin, except for, of course, he's dark. He's black.
Yeah, when you actually cast the best character, regardless of race, best actor, that's to me that's not woke.
Well, now they say, now they start off with the idea that they are going to race swap. And that is not anything to do with the narration. That's not anything to do with the movie. That's not representation. That's presentation. And I think even now when they do it well, like I thought Hawkman was, he acted the hell out of that. I thought it was pretty good. It comes off that way because once again, you can only get slapped so many times before you start flinching.
Sam Jackson.
When people reach for the for the salt. Yeah, Sam Jackson worked out, but Nick Fury in the Ultimate Comics was black, was actually drawn to look like Samuel Jackson long before he was cast in the movie. I'm pretty sure they were finger crossing.
Now, if they came on and said that Hawkman and we're gonna make him black because fuck him, everybody's white, then I could see your point, be upset about it. But like we were getting like Will Smith black, we weren't getting a mockumentary of the character. Just because they want to change the race.
I do agree, by the way, that with Undick Win, which a lot of people say race swapping is lazy. Race swapping is for losers, period, says Austin P. Well, he's quoting Eric July. Yeah, I agree. But sometimes it was done well. And in the past, sometimes it was done well.
Kara being in the Flash movie is an alternate universe where Clark never landed on Earth.
Right.
That's all it is.
Dominic said, the influence on Western culture is losing ground once everybody realizes how illiberal this ideology is. However, we need to make sure that it doesn't swing to the other extreme. That's always a danger. All right, let's move on.
At this point, woke is essentially a floating signifier, a word which absorbs meaning, covers it up rather than omitting it.
I don't think it is. I think it's in danger of becoming.
It becomes a tangle of loosely related meanings, sometimes directly in line with that far-right theory of cultural Marxism, sometimes stopping short of actually saying that part out loud but gesturing in the direction. Sometimes it just means, why are people allowed to criticize me when I offend them? Sometimes what's implied by woke is contradictory. Take this image of wokeness as a sickness, the woke mind virus. This would seem to fly in the face of...
I got to tell you, I've never heard of it explained as the woke mind virus. Is this a thing going around on social media?
We have the rawhide virus, the Khazar virus. I've never heard of the woke virus.
I've literally never heard it referred to as this. So
wokeness as agenda. After all, a mind virus inhibits agency. It's not an expression of it. Are these...
I think if you do join that woke cult, and once again, this is just me and my own bigotry, me and my own prejudice, if you join that woke cult, you have no agency. Because as soon as you deviate from it, they ostracize you. They kick you out. You're not allowed. You are canceled if you deviate from woke, the woke mindset, the woke ideology.
People weak, controlled by wokeness, or are they strong? Is wokeness the shape their control takes? This contradiction is, of course, utterly ignored by your anti-woke.
Okay, let's talk about the anti-woke racists that he himself has represented for us right here. And the inclusion of 2 women. One of them, I can't see past the words, doesn't exactly look white. 2 black guys. Just saying, you know, if you've got 9 people there and almost half of them are,
you know what it looks like? A bunch of guys.
Men.
Looks like a bunch of guys who have their own channel, and some women too, you know, and they get together every Friday night, they hang out, and then they review stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Figure Drawing says a lot of people think that the Last of Us video games and show are woke. What say you? A lot of the same people label the Peacemaker such.
I've watched.
If you label Peacemaker as woke, you're out of your freaking gourd.
Now,
I only watched the first episode of Last of Us. Never played the game, so I can't speak on that.
I've played the game and watched it. I'll just say there are a lot of stuff that happened in the game. It's happening in the show.
Okay.
The first game wasn't really woke, unless you consider Ellie in the DLC being revealed to be a lesbian. You could say, well, they shoehorned that in, but lesbians exist. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt her character.
Having a gay character isn't woke. There are gay people out there.
Where they went wrong, though, I say, is there's an episode where they meet Bill in the show, and they focus a whole entire 45 minutes of that episode, of an hour episode, on their gay relationship, which has nothing to do with the game. That was for virtue signaling. But apart from that, the series has been fine. Second game, though, is where they went ultra woke and they pissed off fans. You know, so like I said, the first so far the show has been all right. It's not.
I only saw the first episode. I can tell you it's slow and boring. Okay. Let's see. I'm angry that people to this day see Italians and think that they're automatically connected to mafia. It's accepted to play.
Figure drawing. I'm referring to it as a story, you know, and what happens then. Now, I'm not going to say what happens because there might be people who haven't played that game. It might be a spoiler for what's coming in the show. We don't know if that's going to be played in there, but yeah, you know, it's something that happens to the main character, and you're forced to play as the villain, and at the end you're supposed to feel sorry for them. That's what I don't like about the second game. Second game had good scenery, good game mechanics, but story was horribly offensive to anybody who's a fan of the actual product.
I'm literally just running around shooting Nazis in the head on the game I'm playing right now, and I'm having a great time doing it. What gets me about Sniper Elite is that they give you extra points if you can go through the entire board without killing anybody. I'm like, screw you, I'm a sniper. Bam, 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 bam. That's the way I like it.
All right, let's continue with this bullshit.
Let me, okay, I love comics. That worries me, says Cartoons and Comics. How they going to do when we have massive reaction from the masses, specifically after a decade of what they have acted like an inquisition from the left wing. What do I think? You can actually see it right now. I do believe what was Dominic pointed out, that it is kind of, the pendulum is kind of swinging back. and people are realizing that being canceled on Twitter doesn't exactly mean the end of the world. I myself have said that I will not use the language of the left anymore. I'm not going to be rude to people, but they have changed the language to the point where it's some words have just kind of flip-flopped. Also, we gave them an inch, and now they've got child drag shows.
Yeah, I just want to point out: has anybody ever watched the Friday Night Tights? And this is like nothing. I'm not trying to badmouth them, but the few times I've turned in, this is what I see here. I see DD Cobra up there looking. He's pissed off. So their names are right there. D-Day Cobra.
D-Day Cobra. Oh, I thought that guy was named Jeremy.
Yeah, well, it's his name. It's his channel. It's
kind of okay. That's his England team.
Yeah.
Okay.
They always seem like they're not really interested in being in there. They're always looking at other things, just doing other things, and this kind of like it's just like, oh, we're on a live stream together. Okay, let me do this.
I know what this is now. Once again, I haven't seen this show. I don't know. I can't tell you that this is the way it is. But if you've got that many people on,
they're bored.
It's either it's 7 of them are probably bored off their asses, or you've got 10 people all vying for screen time.
Yep.
And look, I've had Dalton, I've had Ash, I've had actually a lot of people just say, you know what, I'm being drowned out here. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. So I can see that. I understand. I'm feeling some empathy for him here. Okay, let's go.
With folks who tend to use the mind virus idea interchangeably with the dastardly agenda idea. Why? Because the specifics aren't actually important, even to them. We'll come back to what I mean by that, but I want
to call him out here as well, because he doesn't give any specifics. He's saying the specifics don't matter, when actually, if you listen to the video that says MCU, you'll get the freaking specifics. If you listen to me rail off about Falcon not becoming Captain America, you're going to say racism, but I give you freaking specifics. All right. Hey, Rachel, how you doing? How's it going?
I'd like to point out explicitly that this contradiction, the weak wokes controlled by the virus versus the strong wokes controlling the media, that is just plainly a well-known fascist propaganda technique. Whichever...
except that it's happening. There's a meme that I love. It's, you didn't trust the science, you trusted the TV. And of course, it was talking about the beer bug. And yeah, that happens. I'm sorry. I don't understand how Joy Reid and the freaking View can control people's minds to believe stuff that if you look it up, you find not to be true. But it happens. All right.
Outgroup a particular fascist movement wants to demonize at any given point is figured as utterly wretched weaklings, inferior to their pure betters, but also dangerous, also posing...
Joe Biden and the radical left want to abolish police, abolish ICE, abolish bail, abolish suburbs, abolish the Second Amendment, and abolish the American way of life. No one will be safe in Joe Biden's America. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes.
Yeah, it's happening.
I'm getting the idea that, what's this name? Pillar of Garbage doesn't even watch the news, or you would actually have heard them say,
no, he does watch the news. He watches Don Lemon.
Ah, right. Who said that there was no violence in New York?
Yeah.
There's no violence. Go to Chicago too.
It's mostly peaceful. You see a guy on fire, you see cars on fire. It's peaceful. Oh, they pay attention to that guy.
I mean, they have abolished bail in New York, says Ahsoka, and look at how that turned out. Let's see. I grew up in evangelical city where in the 90s they tried to prohibit Yu-Gi-Oh cards and lewd pictures, cartoons. I know how it was growing up in the televangelist town face orange biting. Cartoon comics for us, it was the PMRC going after our music. And they didn't do too well because they said, we're going to slap this label on all of the cool albums so you know which ones to buy.
I want to point out the context of this text. At this time, we had people going up to the border agents and saying that they're racist. The horses are racist.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the same thing, cartoons and comics, with the PMRC. Also, Dungeons and Dragons back in the 80s. That got hell. I remember I went to a kind of a woodworking thing. It was a field trip at a park we went to, and I wanted to do I wanted to put an image of Galactus. I wanted to make a comic book box. And I wanted Galactus on one side, and I was going to have the Justice League on the other, and then the Fantastic Four. And then I think, I forget who was going to be on, but I had all these images, and they said no,
and
because it's not with God. Yeah.
So you know what they're going to do with modern, if they were to do the retelling of Coming of Galactus, he's going to get canceled on Twitter, and he won't even be able to arrive. He'll just turn
so
around.
long as he's not a cloud, I will be okay with it. Let's go.
He'll be canceled.
An urgent threat. Examples of this are plentiful. This strategy necessitates a sort of paternalist in-group rule, but justifies harshness to those who don't fit in. And needless to say, that pattern of thought has led to atrocities. So I'm not saying that everyone spouting this woke mind virus line is a fascist propagandist, but knowingly or otherwise, they are using fascist talking points. Anyway, yeah.
How? What are the talking points?
He doesn't show receipts. He just shows
not
videos
even a
and
little
talks
bit.
over them.
Not even a little bit. But the thing is he's actually, and I said this at the beginning of the video, and let me make examples here of all the stuff you've seen him talk about. You can see where he started this entire video off on the wrong foot. He thinks that the reason why you don't like, say, Falcon becoming Captain America, I don't know. Most people tell me to shut up about it. But if you don't like it, it's because Falcon is black and he's taking over a white role. Rather than, like my point being is, no, Falcon is a 60-year-old character who should be shown respect to have his own movie and his own identity. They don't. So he's starting off on the wrong foot to get through this.
The specifics aren't important. That's becoming increasingly obvious because more and more anti-woke critiques have moved from criticizing things as woke to criticizing things because they're woke.
Yeah, because usually woke is poorly written. Woke has Kitty Pryde one-punching a sentinel. Woke isn't done very well because you can't show Joker holding Batgirl with a gun to her head because, oh my gosh, somebody's going to get offended. While comic book cover after comic book cover shows men and women in danger. It's not the danger that's important. We know Batgirl's going to live. We want to see how she's going to get out of that situation. But woke says that she can't even be in that situation. Woke says that she can't have the trouble. She can't have the tribulation. She can't have things that challenge her, which is also, by the way, since you brought up Rey earlier, the reason why people don't like Rey. Because yes, she started out where Luke Skywalker ended. And that is wrong. It's not good writing. We point to something that, and I'll step out and I'll say what I think the woke finders got wrong. Hawkeye was a very well-written show, and girl Hawkeye was not woke. She made a lot of mistakes. She had trial and error, and even at the end of the show, she wasn't perfect. She could do more than she could at the beginning of the show, but she wasn't perfect. That's the way things should be.
This is what I would say. Yeah, as Marnia said, the whole thing.
Kamala Khan, same thing. Sorry.
The whole thing with Sam being portrayed in the show, taking up the mantle, was poorly thing. I want Sam to be, you know what, just down himself. I'll never be up to Caps, Steve, thing. It's like I'll never this, and just the whole thing down to yourself, getting into fights, getting knocked down, losing battles because he's overcomplicated thinking things, and then finally at the end, he's you know what, I can't do this, but I'll still I will still honor Steve, and just yeah. That's all I want, It's like the whole Terry McGinnis origins. You ever watch the show? He constantly makes mistakes. At the end, he proves himself that he actually is worthy of being.
It's
successor.
A more exciting, a better told story.
Yeah.
Cartoons Comics saying his examples are bad. He thinks everything is either racist, fascist. Like, I don't want Riri Williams because she sucks. I want Rhodes and War Machine movie. Please let me have that.
It's funny.
Ahsoka saying I hate Rey. Yeah, she's a chick.
I'll just quickly say this. if a white person says they don't like a show, they're racist. If a black person says they don't like a black show or black character, they're ignored. Or they call him an Uncle Tom, and somehow yet they're not racist for calling him that.
Uncle Tom, I've said this before on this channel. God. I'll say it. Here we go. I know. Listen to it one more time. There's more people here. I'll give you my freaking take on Uncle Tom because I freaking hate what's going on. Uncle Tom, if you read the book, was a hero. He was a strong black man who stood up against the master. Actually got beat to death rather than say anything. He was, if I remember correctly, the master was telling him that God was not who he should worship. The master was. He refused. And the master beat him to death. He would rather have died. He was a strong black man. And he would rather have died than to betray his faith. That is who Uncle Tom was. May have the reasoning why, but point being is rather than betray his morals, he would rather die. That is a hero. That is a strong character. What ended up happening is that the leftists, the Democrats, realized they cannot have a strong black character who is going to influence the slaves. So they turned him into a minstrel. So anytime somebody is calling a black guy, and usually it's one black person calling another black person Uncle Tom, anytime they're doing that, they're doing the job of the racists. They're doing the job of the slave owners.
Oh, they are racists.
They are. If you're even if you're a black man calling another black man Uncle Tom, that is racist. All right, let's see. How many partner characters besides Falcon and Robin got their names in the title? Well, Flash, when he became the Flash, I guess, if we thought about it, we could find a few. I don't like Falcon taking over Captain.
About Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen, that's right. I don't like Falcon taking over Captain America's mantle the way they handled it in the show, because Sam is a cookie cutter character shoved into the costume zero character development.
That's what I was talking about.
You're in.
That's the one I read up earlier.
Okay, Sam as Cap as character that points the fingers, makes a bunch of preachy speeches, and fails and gets played all the time. Says Emerald Summertime. I miss tier lists. We'll do that some other time. Boom. Occasionally, these videos have to be made.
So did Samus Aran ever get canceled when it was revealed that Metroid was actually a woman this whole entire time?
What? No. Let's go.
There is a difference here. Take the whole Mary Sue thing. Initially, say around the release of The Force Awakens, the character of Rey was criticized for seeming to possess skills and knowledge that logically she shouldn't have. I don't want to get into that whole argument here, but rightly or wrongly, a flaw was perceived, and as a result of that flaw, the character, the film, was labeled by some as woke.
The flaw was that she was flawless. That's not a small thing. You have to actually have conflict. There was no conflict with Rey. There was no learning curve with Rey.
Who knows? Maybe she's just that naturally attuned to the Force.
Right. And yes, it was gesturing towards identity.
The idea that the film was intentionally gesturing toward identity politics followed a critique of its internal logic. We can disagree with the argument. We can say some of those making that argument came into it biased, looking for flaws, but regardless, SJW woke was the explanation for the criticism. It wasn't the target of it. This doesn't tend to be how it goes these days. More and more, the opponents of the woke agenda criticize things because they are woke, not because there's some flaw held to result.
Okay, wait. Is he repeating himself?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, he's been through this. Okay.
That was always there at the roots of the anti-woke movement. To varying degrees, they believe it, or at least they believe in its
the biggest thing. Okay, first of all, this is horrible dialogue. You want to be a chick superhero? Fine. Who the hell cares? But what? But you get to own your own identity. Yeah. She's not Thor. She's Jane Foster. Even the movies, by the way.
Thor is a dude. One of the less manly dudes left.
persuasive, monetizable appeal. But their creation of woke as a floating signifier has allowed them to covertly spread the essence of this ludicrous ideology to the unsuspecting masses. Because around them, at the various preceding stages of the alt-right pipeline, there's a
There it is again. Is it extreme right or is it alt-right? Get your freaking rights together. How about just conservative, maybe? Just
massive community, united in the belief that wokeness is bad, that it's at once a dastardly plot and an unconscious sickness. None of them can prove that this agenda exists.
Except for they fucking said it! That right out, they just, you know what? Okay, we're done. We're done. You are a freaking disingenuous prick. I'm sorry, but you cannot, you obviously you don't pay attention to what you're freaking trying to talk about. You can't prove that the freaking woke agenda exists. The creator of the freaking Proud Family reboot literally said they didn't bother her with her freaking gay agenda. The She-Hulk writers admitted to an agenda. Are you out of your... What the hell kind of research did you do other than this is how I feel, let me write a script? You are a freaking troll and we are done. All righty. Thank you very much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit and a half.
You know, I feel gypped. I spent an hour and 50 minutes listening to this bullshit. I didn't get to finish it.
I'll put it back on. No, we're good. We're good. We spent 2 hours talking about a 20-minute video. We talked about other things, and I took comments as well.
Open like Monday, but we don't get to talk about that.
And I had stuff to say. Okay, I'm not keen on Jackson Hyde. Aqualad says Aqualad becoming Aquaman. Garth didn't become Aquaman. He became Tempest. Yeah. By the way, it's now Aquamen. They've diluted so many comic book heroes by having a whole bunch of them. Batman Incorporated is a dumb idea. The only time you had people take over Batman is to show that nobody else could be Batman. Same with Captain America.
I want to point out
the original preface for Batman Incorporated is that he realized, hey, these people tried to take over. They failed. They got injured. It happened again. All right, I give up. You guys are going to get injured, so you're wearing hockey pads. So let me come over and show you how it's done.
Yeah.
That is Batman Incorporated. Like, idiots, this is how you do it. You're going to get yourself killed, and I'm too tired to stop.
Batman basically realized the world needs a Batman, but he can't be everywhere. So he trained them to be his little army.
Right. Oh, and by the way, from now on, Glinzer's new name is Glizzy. I want to stick with that too, Rachel.
I'm calling him Glizzo.
Glizzo? Yeah. That's why the right doesn't... Oh, go on ahead, Venk. We've been talking over you. Go, you, sir, have the floor. Take it away.
No, I want to talk about you addressed that whole Aquaman thing. And even the story was, yes, it was bad, but it wasn't beyond horrible bad, you know?
Yeah.
The character Jackson Hyde didn't want to be called Aquaman. It was Arthur Curry saying, something happens to me, you know, I die. There has to be an Aquaman. There has to be someone a king. So but you know, because Aquaman's apparently is a title. It's not who Arthur Curry is. His name's Arthur. So yeah, Jackson didn't want it at all. He said it was stupid. He was pissed off if somebody called him. He actually snapped at somebody in the comic book.
Yeah.
Now, since then, I don't know what's going on with the new book after that, but like I said, it was okay. Like I said, Jackson Hyde has been a character that was introduced in Blackest Night, or was it Brightest Day or Blackest Night? One of the two. They threw him into Young Justice. Brightest Day, yeah. They threw him in the Young Justice. The character's been fine. Now, the problem is, I can see what people have is a character they're just going to focus on him replacing Aquaman altogether, and nobody wants that. We don't want the Justice League heroes replaced. We want Barry. There's people who want Barry Allen as a Flash. They don't want Wally West taking over. Unfortunately, DC decided to kill Barry off. And since 1987, everyone's loved Wally. We grew up with Wally. The people who liked Barry are kind of aged out at this point.
Barry, okay, so Barry was, what, 1956, I believe? So he was 76, 86,
Zack.
20 years. Now, Wally West was 87 to around 2007.
Yeah.
So he was the Flash for the same amount of time as Barry Allen. And Jeff Johns did him poor, man. I've been asking this question around. I'm planning on, this is Austin P, creating my own comic. My question is, Image and or Dark Horse is a good place for newbie non-woke creators. Check it out. I know this. Everybody's got everybody wants to write and draw a comic book. You submit to them. They're creator owned. It's awesome. I know I've seen some bad comic books out there, but it is an audition process. They're not going to let stick figure. Maybe they would let stick figure, man. I could do stick figure, man. But you got to have some talent to it. I saw this documentary about that a while back, so that's what I took away from it.
Zach, the generation that likes the CW Barry are the ones that are probably even reading comic books. Give me that much.
No, there is a new generation that actually reads the comics as well that likes Barry over Wally.
But of course, they're not going to like Wally because Wally is nothing like Barry in the comic books.
Well,
actually, Wally's like Wally in the show.
Wally West is a murderer. Thank you very much. I saw what he did in Heroes in Crisis.
That was retcon. Actually, it wasn't him. It was KGB.
Yes, but now thanks to the Omniverse, everything is canon.
Yeah,
ugh.
Basically,
yeah.
people who picked up comics through the New 52 and everything. Like, there's 10 years of people that came in to comics in the last 10 years had Barry's.
I just want to point out that Zach, who likes dogs, is glad that a cat who's not racist agrees with him.
Well, there you go. Hey, if you're listening in, you haven't joined the conversation, feel free to. I try to get as many comments as we can. I know I didn't for the... I let a lot go by for the video, but it's because it was a 20-minute video and we were taking an hour and a half, 2 hours. But yeah, by all means, Cartoons and Comics and the new DC Comics are trying to imitate manga, but without the thing that makes manga popular, which is sauce, not propaganda. A non-binary magician that the description of is one of them there. I'm not sure what the sauce is supposed to be, but
I also want to point out that manga.
I don't read manga, so I can't really say much about it.
I also want to point out that everybody thinks that manga's better, but manga has its own flaws. There's a lot of suggestive titles out there. I'm just saying, it's a.
How do we feel about Jay Garrick having a daughter? I haven't read it yet, but
you know what? Don't.
Doesn't bother me.
Jay needs something.
He's been married since 1940s. Go on ahead.
Like I said, I'm just glad that Jay's not going around seeing people's clothes.
Dominic is saying also, this is that Austin. Also, you need to look into which independent publishers accepts unsolicited submissions. Jeff John is a talented writer who earned his stripes, but he does have his stinkers, such as Flash Rebirth. Alrighty. Rachel says, I'm guilty. I used to love CW Flash. Barry was funny and quick and witty, but then in the later seasons, he got too serious for me. I friggin' have his action figure. There you go. Let's see. As far as I understand it, Hal Jordan is a mass murderer in post-crisis. I might have thought. No, he actually was. He destroyed.
Pre-crisis.
No, that was post-crisis, where he took all the rings and he destroyed the Green Lantern Corps. Became Parallax, not Parallax.
You sure that wasn't in the East? That wasn't.
Yeah, was it Parallax? What was the name?
Yeah, it's Parallax.
Yeah, Parallax. Yeah.
In post-crisis, though.
Yes.
At the 80s?
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Issues number 48, 49, and 50 of the Green Lantern before Kyle Rayner. Then Kyle Rayner took over.
When you're doing your Green Lantern, when you're doing your Superman reading, you haven't gotten to that part yet.
No, because I'm in 1992 right now.
Yes, yeah, it's after the death of Superman.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
I always thought that was pre-crisis. So.
No, he was a Peter File in pre-crisis.
Yep. It's that time of the night where I shill for One Piece in My Hero Academia, says Zach. The manga or the anime. Never watched or read One Piece.
Super chat for, entry for shilling, Zach.
Alrighty. I don't read manga or watch or watch anime, because you guys know I hate Asians. Let's see. It was
Tim,
the 90s.
never come on this channel again.
Come on. Some people call me a fetishist. All right, so people had a fit about the Green Lantern movie where they felt that the lead was whitewashed because the generation. That's true. She is not wrong. A lot of people thought they whitewashed Green Lantern because for the last 10 years they knew Jon Stewart to be the Green Lantern.
Yeah, and the guy who wants to be be the new John, basically he was going to do the Jon Stewart Green Lantern thing. They were going to do the guy who was in the Justice League. We got his role cut. He said he still wants to play the role of Green Lantern. You know, he's kind of upset with the whole James Gunn thing. You know, getting rid of that. You know, because he's like, hey, I was supposed to be Green Lantern. I was at my show on HBO Max that got scrapped. You know,
yeah,
he wasn't going to be in the show. He just had a cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and
it is something though. You don't think about the fact that a lot of people got put out of work when James Gunn signed on.
There was supposed to be a Jon Stewart show in HBO Max.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to be in that one. He was going to get recasted.
Sure. So recast it, but the fact that that person never got, that show never took off. So that was canceled. Jon Stewart. I want to see a Jon Stewart Green Lantern.
But that's still there. They're just going to add Hal Jordan in there too. That wasn't even in the writing process. That was in the writing process. There wasn't even casting for that.
Would you give Ryan Reynolds a second chance?
Honestly, I would.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it.
I know he doesn't want it.
I know. But you know what? Ryan Reynolds has a chance after Deadpool. If he's out with the MCU, throw him over in the DC. Let him be Booster Gold.
Okay.
He's got the comedic type, you know. As far as Nathan Fillion, he's too old to play.
Yeah, a lot of the actors I want, and I think Ryan Reynolds is getting there, but a lot of the actors I want aged out.
No, but I'm saying, so you can still make him Ted Kord. It's just that he's the mentor to Jaime Reyes.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. I will do readings if it's manga. I vote for Junji. Ooh, I love those books. I actually got those for my daughter. And I like the movies. Miyazaki made a few Junji Ito Uzumaki. They made a couple of live action movies. And I love those freaking movies. So I read the books and wow.
The problem with manga, I don't think a manga is available through any reading app. So
yeah, we would have to find a way to do it.
Because panel by panel, we do that.
I don't think Comixology is panel by panel anymore. Amazon did away with them. Do they still?
Nope.
Yeah,
it's back.
Okay.
Where it was.
Okay. Then we should stream a few readings of Junji Ito. I am okay with that.
Like I said, as far as manga though, and the streaming app, if they did it, because remember it goes left to right.
Yeah, well, they would do it properly.
Hopefully,
yeah. You're reading it backwards. That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deadpool's actor who played Green Lantern in that trash movie says Ahsoka wants to play it again. I don't think he does, but like my choice for Guy Gardner was what's his name from Community? Jeff Winger in Community. I forget his freaking name.
Zach could probably tell you. But I don't watch those shows.
Yeah, he's done a few shows. Joel McHale, thank you. Yeah, he played freaking Starman on Stargirl.
Who was Smallville Booster Gold?
I forget. I don't think he was.
I still like the guy who plays Homelander, Booster Gold.
Booster Gold, and
we're not. Don't say because he's Homelander, so
no. Actors are actors, but I think Joel McHale would freaking nail Guy Gardner. I think he's
gross.
Perfect. Yeah, and then he would do the role. He's got a new show out called Animal Control. It's pretty funny, says Zach. Yep. Hal Jordan is indeed a comic book fan, much like Henry Cavill. Hal Jordan is the Green. Okay, I think you didn't mean to say that. Rosario Dawson, Keanu Reeves, and others, true blue geeks who know their stuff, unlike other actors and actresses. Junji Ito is awesome. I don't know. We may be getting something going here, Rachel.
No Keanu Constantine. We're done with that.
No Keanu.
You guys had your thing. We're going with
that. Got canceled.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always thought Paul Bettany should have played John Constantine myself.
I wanted Sting, but nobody wanted to let him have a chance, you know?
He's acted before. He was in a really good war film called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
He was also in that wasn't he also in that Christopher Lambert movie? Back in the day?
Which one?
Nirvana, I think it was one of the two.
I don't remember that at all. Ryan Reynolds literally said the only reason he took the Green Lantern role after seeing the script was because he was told he wouldn't get another chance to play a superhero.
So, speaking of movies that aren't being advertised, anybody, well, at least I haven't seen really much of anything, is the John Wick 4. Comes out March.
I'm looking forward to it. You know what I just thought would be cool for Keanu Reeves? Lone Wolf and Cub. Now, you might want to get a full-on 100% Japanese actor, but I think Keanu Reeves could kick ass as Lone Wolf and Cub.
I just want more Bill and Ted, man. That last one was great.
All right. Ah, goodness gracious. So, what else is going on in the universe, or shall we call it a night? Seriously.
Well, apparently Loki season got pushed back to late summer now.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, everything seems to be moved up a little bit. Marvel's did as well. So.
Oh, and for those who are watching Last of Us, the next episode's supposed to have Troy Baker appear on the show.
There you go. Yeah, that's cool.
Who was his original voice actor for Joel.
Paul Bettany was in A Knight's Tale. Well, but yes, he was. But yeah, I'm going ahead.
Delayed.
Which one?
The JSA issues.
Oh,
like
the comic?
from delays. Yeah.
That's something. I plan on watching Cocaine Bear this weekend, says Dominic, and yeah, I'm gonna go see it Wednesday. Elizabeth said she wants to go. Elizabeth doesn't go to the movies with me. She said she wanted to go. I pointed out that her mom was off on Wednesday, so we're talking about a family day out, and I said we got to go see Cocaine Bear, which I think is the proper way to say the freaking title.
Now, I'll say this. I saw that. I mean, Pixel both saw in the theater. I thought it was pretty cool for one of those movies. It's basically feels like one of those movies that you can just sit back. You know you're going into. If you want to watch Super Troopers, you kind of know what you're going in for. It's a bear who gets high on cocaine,
yeah.
People. So if you're going in there thinking, I have these expectations. Right there, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is a movie. It's great to see it in the theater, but I would not pay the $12. The $12 is what I had to pay for my seat just to see this movie. Now, no one should be paying $12 to sit in the theater to watch a movie during the day.
Wow, you know what? That hammers it. We're staying in Florida. I've been looking for a reason. I've been looking for a way out of this, and you're talking me. You know what? I've got to tell Gail. We can't move up north. It's $12 a matinee ticket. We got it good down here. No, We're not freaking moving. The hell? Seriously. I can't even believe that's on the freaking menu.
Yeah.
It's a northern thing, Zach. You're in Louisiana. I'm in Florida. It's a southern thing. We've got decent freaking movie prices, I guess.
Oh, so the AMC's up here are more expensive than they are down south too.
I go like Regal has this deal. It's like $21 a month, and you just go to the movies whenever the hell you want.
Now, if you're seeing on a $5 Tuesday, those aren't really the movies though. On Tuesdays,
yeah,
Marcus was doing those $5 Tuesdays, and the $5 was just for like the movies that weren't brand new. They've been out for a while.
Okay, but the what I'm talking about, they have these. I know AMC has their version of it. You pay like $20-25, and then you could see 3 movies a week. The Regal Cinema that we go to is you pay $22, and you can see whatever.
Look.
I haven't tried multiple movies a day though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ahsoka saying I have a local theater that takes like $5 to $7. That's the way it is with me. We've got a mom and pops right around the corner. So unless if it's not a big night where we go to the Regal, we just go to it.
Like I said, the prices of my theaters have gone up because of the fact that people just aren't going to theaters around here, and some of them were naturally more expensive because they're popular. They're popular locations. If they're only one in that spot, people are going to go to that location. They're going to drive, they go there, and they can charge whatever they want to charge. The other thing is that if there's people not working, they're shorthanded. so the prices go up.
So did you hear their new plan? By the way, AMC has decided they're going to start pricing tickets by seat. So if you the middle section is going to be more expensive than the side section.
Jeez.
That's bull crap, man. You know what? I'm a guy who thought it was bull crap that now I got to tell you what seat I want before I go in and see who else is sitting there. I have always look. I'm not going to get the seat next to the person with a big ass bucket of popcorn. I don't do that.
Like I said, a lot of people would still rather wait especially if it's as a Marvel movie. They're going to wait the 2 months, whatever, before it goes to Disney Plus. Versus go watching it in a theater.
Well, some movies,
unless it's a movie like No Way Home, which had the huge nostalgia factor, what brought people in. I can't see people getting excited going over to seeing Eternals, whether it's woke or not. You know, I don't see the appeal to those characters. As a normie.
Are you talking about just movies in general?
In general.
Yeah, I do think there's a reluctance now to
streaming
go to
is
theaters.
slowly killing. Remember, like video killed the radio star.
They finally found something. It's not just streaming; it's the fact that you now you now have a TV that looks as good as the movies.
Dude, you get like a 75-inch TV, flat screen, and they have the huge surround sound with the woofer stuff, and then you can pause it and go take a piss whenever you want to. Why would you go to a theater?
I'll tell you why you go to a theater. I had this conversation with Gail. I said, because when I'm sitting in the movie theater with her, she's off of her phone and she's watching the movie, and I'm not getting question after freaking question. The bird's not tweeting at me. The mother-in-law's not bothering me. The mother-in-law's not bothering me with her TV. Everything is concentrate on that movie. That's why I love the movie going experience, because I actually watch the movie instead of having to hear blah, 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 and all the freaking things going on around.
So I go to the day showings in the theaters that aren't they're kind of further out, so people go to the more. I know where the big locations are, so I avoid those. Go to the other one. So that's why I go there, and then sometimes I sit on my phone because I get a dull point in the movie. I'll whip my phone because there's no one behind me. I'm at the top, so I just sit there on my phone.
The only thing I like, the eyes. I don't have good eyes, so usually we sit about 4 rows back.
Can't see anything.
Yeah, but the thing is the one thing I do like about the top row is nobody's behind you with a freaking popcorn. But the top row also is you can see all the phone screens, and I like being up front for definitely in front of the rest of the audience, because generally I can get just absorbed into the movie. I don't want the distractions. I hate distractions.
That's when you took an M&M at the back of their head.
Oh, that actually happened. Some teenagers were. This was in Tallahassee,
and the top row.
Me and Gail went to the movies, and some teenagers were at the top row, and they started. I get, the hell? This looks like a freaking raisinette. What the hell? And I'm like, is somebody throwing candy? And then I'm thinking, okay, I guess somebody freaking threw something at me. Those kids up there, and Gail is sitting next to me, and she's just loses it. God damn it. It's like, what's going on? Apparently she was quiet about it, and I get hit. I said something. Gail, they were throwing and they were hitting her. They didn't hit me again, but they hit Gail multiple times. So I said, all right. Gail hates that because I'm so fucking confrontational.
Buddy. Daddy, go goop in his ass. Okay, honey.
Like, I'm not this way any other place but the goddamn movie theater. It freaking drives me crazy. So I was like, okay. So I'm going up. And no. What are you gonna do? Are you really gonna go beat up a whole bunch of kids? I'm like,
did you see this?
Try.
So in the chat, Soka's like, I got a 70-inch. Zack's like, I got a 50-inch. And Jay's like, I got 120-inch, And then Ed Burr's, I only got a 9-inch.
All right, that one's good. But yeah, don't fuck around with me in the movie theater. I absolutely will confront you in the movie theater. I freaking hate it. It's the impoliteness of it all. But at this point in time, it's the you fucked with my wife of it all. Don't mess with my family. I will not be nice to you. I'm a nice guy, but don't freaking do that. So I stood up and I was going to go confront him. Gail actually, she grabbed me, sit down, don't do it. And so I just turned around and I looked at him, did the whole, they stopped. There's an amount of crazy you just do not want to, no. The worst thing I did was I threw a kid's phone. It just pissed me off because they wouldn't get, and this was for frickin' Twilight. The last Twilight movie, I was supposed to watch it for this radio show I was doing called Best Damn Movie Show. It was not. And this kid just would not get off of his phone. I even asked him, I said, well, when the movie starts, I don't mind the previews, but when the movie starts, it's distracted. Can you turn it off? He said, sure. And he wouldn't turn it off. And I said, who the hell are you freaking texting that you need to interrupt the movie with? And he says, my girlfriend. And I said, you didn't bring your girlfriend? He says, she's right here. So I went, fuck. And I grabbed his phone and I tossed it. Whoops. I actually thought I was going to be fighting a teenager after that one. Let's see. Trusty says, I remember when Star Wars was in theaters for over a year. Yes, sir.
I'm surprised he didn't hit, if you're right behind him, I'm surprised he didn't check you in the throat reaching over.
The kid with the phone?
Yeah.
No, he was right next to me. He was sitting right next to me.
Oh, I was gonna say, but first of all, if you're in my personal space right there, you should reach over, grab my stuff. It's on.
Oh,
I don't care if I'm in the wrong or not. It's like you touch, and especially if that was an iPhone, see, it's brand new.
I have no idea. In all honesty, I didn't think about it. I didn't do anything. It was literally like it just went like that. But he freaking turned his phone off. He turned his cell phone off. Cell phone jammers, theaters need them, says Glinzer. Phantom Menace was in my theater for 7 months. I remember going to the premiere. Did anybody see Phantom Menace on opening night?
I remember going in the theater. I think I did watch the first movie in the theater, but I remember just seeing all the people dressed up like they needed to be escorted by their parents, dropped off. Yeah. Come on, I'm sorry. When you're in like the theater's so freaking long, the line going through, and it's going out the door. I'm just laughing, and they're standing in their Jedi robes. They got their lightsabers. I'm thinking like, dude, you got your little pillow too? You got the little slippers. I was like, come on, guys, you don't need to dress up for a freaking movie.
We got in line early because we knew this was before reserve seating and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So we got in line to make sure that we could get a decent seat and everything. So we actually waited. We made a day of it. We made sure it was in Disney Springs. So at the time it was Pleasure Island, I believe it was called. Yeah.
I know
I've dressed up for movies. So have I. I got pictures. Yeah, let people dress up for what they love. This one was done for home. This guy, he had this group and they would dress up and they would do meet and greets and all that kind of stuff. And he needed a thing. They were going to, it was to promote Rise of the Silver Surfer. And they didn't have, their guy who played the Thing had to bounce. He couldn't do it.
Yeah. So also P, I have no idea what you're even talking about, but there are certain people who shouldn't be allowed to cosplay. I'm just saying that.
What?
Yes, I will gatekeep that. I do not want to see a Lizzo in a thong. Okay.
Okay. All I heard was syrup.
Yes, I said syrup too. Yes. Let's confuse you more.
Yeah. I don't get what you're saying there at all.
No, I was saying, I said I don't know what you're talking about there. Sweet Baby Gang, whatever the heck that is.
Oh, Sweet Baby Gang is Matt Walsh's following.
Oh, I don't watch Matt Walsh, so
okay.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's what Sweet Baby Gang
I
is.
can't stand Matt Walsh. I've seen his takes on movies. Was he known for? Well, what is a woman? Then you go watch his stuff. He talks about movies and just talks about he hates everything.
Gee, that would almost be like making a movie channel with Rob.
What's that like? I've never had that experience.
We used to make fun of the fact that Rob, he really doesn't like anything. A friend of mine once said that when he dies, he would want to get, he would want to be cooked so his friends could eat him. He says, but I'd be afraid Rob would take one taste and go, well, this is inedible.
I would hate Japan. It's just too much jailbait. I don't know who's overage. They're all short.
Let's see. Longest time of a movie was King Kong in 2003. 11 months. My mom was working on a cinema store, and I watched almost every day of that movie. I worked at I was a projectionist for a long time, and there were movies that I would, when I was done with the work, I would just hang out by the projector and watch over and over and over again. Some of them classics like A Few Good Men, but some of them they would kind of be considered B movies or trash films, like Deep Rising with Treat Williams. I love that film. So yeah.
It's Ahsoka, but you said you're mixed.
Wait.
So if you're over 6 feet, you're not pure Japanese. So you are a mixed race. So of course you have traits from other races that make you go taller.
Wait,
what?
Okay, backtracking to something England Dean said a few minutes ago.
Do we have to?
You were a projectionist?
Yes, I was a projectionist. And Supergirl's sister is gay. Okay.
He projected his views on a lot of people at the theater.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I've shown these off many times, so here we go again. Here we go again. Yeah, like I said, I got pictures. Man, the thing was fat that night.
No. Again, Rachel, I don't hate cosplay. I just hate people who don't have the figure for cosplay.
Like, say, if you're at the fattest you've ever been, 260 pounds, and somebody
but you
asks
fit
you to put
though,
on a
because
thing.
that's what the thing is, though. That's the thing. You're going comic accurate there.
Yeah, that was the fattest I ever was. I went on a diet and I started lifting, and that was also, I shaved a mustache I had forever and a day off. I just that was the change of things.
Yes, Rachel. Listen to Zach, the guy who doesn't like a book unless a white guy's in it.
The thing was fat, and that's what she said. Okay, kids. That's awesome. That's fun.
Glizzo
Fun times.
has
Fun times.
jokes.
Say again.
Glizzo has jokes.
Glizzo. They keep calling Glizzo.
Yeah. All right. No, but it was entertaining. It was enjoyable. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see. I'm being invited onto Ruggs. He has a show and he wants to invite me on. It's called Actually. You know, I love the well, actually, guys. So I guess I think that'll be fun. According to Trusty, he says something and then, well, I guess we debate it.
Ahsoka coming. You're addicted to his tier list. I feel like you just want tier list. Ahsoka, a tier list again.
Okay. Ahsoka, two things that happened yesterday. One, we needed to make a hospital trip, and two, I was dead ass tired to the point where it was hard for me to even wake up. Sunday, I'll try. I would also, by the way, like to make my own tier list. We'll do that. I will. But occasionally life steps in.
Three movies are tough. So Lord of the Rings. Don't want to touch them. Leave them there.
Right. That was a Far Side. A Far Side had a joke. It was the inconvenience store, and it was one shelf way too high for anybody to reach the one item that they had. Tier list given to your fans, Englatine. I want to do tier lists too, but I want to bring back top 10 as well if possible.
Englatine has fans?
I don't particularly refer to people watching.
Apparently he has members that subscribe to him.
No, just one.
Because you put there your your stream's still members only.
Yeah. Oh, I've got. Yeah, I got all the streams that disappear. They go into members only. But I have no members. None.
If you
that
possibly
I
at
know
the
of.
auction, want to check your auction total the next day, you need to pay.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. Oh, hey, Trust Sidekick. Ron doesn't have a show. He just thought you would enjoy playing the game. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Absolutely. And you could live stream it on your channel as well as his business channel. Sounds fine to me. I'm all for it, man. That would kind of bring in audience to him and to me. That would be a great crossover. And, you know, I do like to hear the sound of my own voice. So why not?
What's
Tears
that
are for
like?
cakes, not for live streams. But I would actually like to make my own tier list because sometimes they just have too many or just not enough. Somebody said the Black History Month. I don't know if we'll do that, but I'll figure something out. I mean, hell, we could do Black superheroes any day of the week. We're not leftists who put black people in a corner. You can only have February. Have you noticed it's the shortest month? No, you didn't, but we did when we decided. No, it's just we'll come up with some tier lists and such. I want to bring up and I want to start streaming more anyway. All righty, but once again, unfortunately, life steps in. I am chauffeur a lot, and I'm the gopher a lot also, which steps in. So,
what's that like?
Are you that for your family?
A little bit, you know. But we have boundaries, you know. It's like, you know, I'm busy this time. I'll do it for.
2003 was the best time to go to cinemas. Movies were in HD, and we had King Kong, Spider-Man 2, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. How good we had it! You are talking to a man who lived in the 1980s.
Actually, in 2003, sorry, 2000, 2 years early, we lost the Two Towers. So we didn't have Two Towers in 2003.
Right. Too late? Is that no? Yeah, like 1984, wasn't that like Terminator?
Well, you want to talk about censorship?
Ghostbusters and
the original
Spider-Man.
Original Spider-Man. The whole webbing between the Twin Towers moved because it's too sensitive.
Yep. That movie poster goes for some bank.
Yeah,
there's a movie poster of him emerging from the Twids.
Back when you guys had two towers and there were two genders.
You okay, boy? What's up? Okay, he's okay. You okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just staring like I'm talking to him like he's gonna talk to me. When he has, I think he went and he bathed himself. I made a little bird bath in the bathroom, and I think he did. No, when he came in, it was his flying. It sounded heavy, and usually it's. I was just worried, like he got into something. So, yeah. Let's see. Look at the box office for 1984. Legendary. When movies were so good that would bring them back for multiple runs. I missed that. You know, here's the thing. Instead of Disney making a live action movie, why not just release the old ones? Do that. Or maybe as an advertisement. I don't know. All right. Okay, kids. We've been at this for 2:27, and the bird is about to lose his shit. You're out of the fucking cage. What are you yelling at me for? Okay, come on. Yeah, he's losing it. So let's call it. I watched like 8 times in the cinema, Top Gun Maverick. What was it? I don't know what movie I went and saw. I know I saw Batman a couple of times in cinema in the theaters. But I haven't seen a movie more than once in the other than that one in a long time.
And I'll just end on this: if you're a person who thinks that fatphobic is a real thing,
fatphobic,
and therefore you hate the movie The Whale, go fuck yourself.
Wait, what? Fatphobic?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Fatphobic?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to see The Whale because they're fatphobic? Is that a thing?
Yeah, the Whale star Brendan Fraser defends Darren Aronofsky's film from audience criticism of exploitation and fatphobia.
Oh, what they're saying is, and they use phobia for everything. What they're saying is they shouldn't have hired Brendan Fraser. They should have hired an actual 600-pound man.
Well, the problem is that it's easier to get Brendan Fraser to walk into the building every morning than the film. The other one, you got to use a crane.
Okay. I'll tell you this.
Well, the movie's really centered around him. Yeah, we can't leave his house.
If you haven't seen it, you get a chance, watch The Whale. It is amazing. It is such a great movie. I heard the Love Boat soon will be making another run. I have heard that myself. Man, it's promising something for everyone. Black Adam proves we need a JSA movie, says Emma. I agree with that. I watched Raiders in the theaters at least 7. Oh, me too. That was that. I watched it with my grandparents, my parents, and then when it got to the dollar theater, I didn't eat lunch at school for a week. I just kept taking the money. Let's go see the movie. Let's go see it. In 1985, we moved away from my friends, and I spent damn near every day at the mall theater. I saw Goonies like that. Last Dragon I watched multiple times. And I believe Return of the Living Dead as well. It was all at that particular period.
Well, here's the other thing, too, is that people are thinking that, because Shazam Fear the Gods, they have the toys out, the action figures out, through the multiverse, and they show Diana in her classic costume. So they think that the next Gal Gadot is going to have her classic Wonder Woman costume.
Oh, cool. That would be awesome. That would be kind of neat. I saw some people saying they don't want any more Gal Gadot. I think they're insane, but okay. I don't know. Anywho, once again, guys, let's call it a night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tomorrow, I do believe you guys are talking about the books you're most excited for on Wednesday, right?
Where have you been these past couple years? Tuesday nights is top 5. Wednesday night is the TV show reviews.
Okay.
Thursday is the best of.
Okay. What is top 5? What
top 5? Tuesday nights. Well, we talk about the best. What we think are being the best books of the week.
Then that's exactly what I just said.
But you said on Wednesday night though.
No, I said tomorrow.
But you said you mentioned Wednesday night.
Did I say? Oh, okay. I don't
know. No, he said tomorrow you're gonna talk about the books you're getting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So. Quiet, Black Cat. No one likes you.
So you're wrong. You could at least apologize. Come on, let's look at you going, well, I don't know.
No, but yeah. But there are times, there legitimately has been times where you forget what we're doing on each day, so you have to ask.
We all know why you saw Return to the Living Dead for that graveyard scene. Yeah, that was not bad. You know what gets me about that graveyard scene, Emerald Centurion? They literally gave her a plaster cast over her crotch. So if you're ever like, okay, I think I saw something. No, you didn't. They put a plaster crotch thing over her.
About the girl with all the glass in her?
The one that strips on the rock. She's got a name. She's actually a famous pop top queen. Leona something or other. Anyway,
I'm thinking of
Quigley.
I'm thinking of the third one. That's what it is. Yeah.
That movie's actually good. I was thinking, okay, this is gonna suck, but I put her on. That was actually pretty good. Yeah. All righty, kids. You guys have a great time. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. If you're seeing this on the secondary, just leave your hate comments on the in the
comment section.
Yeah, comments. I am done. All righty, you guys have a great time.
If you have hate comments, we'll read them off.
Well, are you kidding me? I know people are going to get to that point where I talked about the MCU and that's all they're going to do. It's like, I'm done.
Angle Team's a shill.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't forget to share the videos. There's the Ko-Fi link in the description below, which Marani will put up very soon. And hit that like button twice.
And thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night, kids. Hey.